You can kind of hear it.
Sounds like it's underwater.
Yeah. Little Mermaid version.
Finding Nemo version.
Finding Flickas.
I love it. The bombs at the end. I love it.
We get like the high school band version of it.
Yeah, it's very-
Where it's just real bad.
It's just the high school across the street. You can hear him through the walls.
It's like somebody mumbling the song, like.
Hey, that's enough. You guys know how it sounds. Get into it.
that twangy banjo.
It's the best part.
Yeah, the strings are like popping off as you.
But welcome back to GoodFlickas, home of the GoodFlickas. Can you take our critiques? Let's find out as we dive into Con Air tonight. Should be an exciting one. This is an action flick after all, so very excited to dive in. I am, of course, Matt, joined tonight with the sipping man himself, Brian.
I mean, guys, just how do I live without you?
God.
I want to know.
Fun facts are going to be good. And of course, with something with a Tupperware instead of her typical big bowl, we've got Jen.
My bowl wasn't big enough, so
There you go. We gotta say, you know, Jen, I've got some pretty big bowls over here, like big mixing bowls. If you just want one of those, I'm happy to downsize.
I might.
All right, you just let me know.
I don't know if that's a problem though.
I mean, it's really not going to solve your problem. It's taking one plastic container and replacing it for another one. So it's either adding to the problem or it's just not really a solution. All right. I tried. And rounding us out is the bearded badass himself. Looks like he's coming to us live from the kitchen tonight. Not so far away, looking all sexy in the lighting. Yeah. Ooh, clean shave. Ooh.
Yo, what up? It's Nicholas the Ridiculous. What?
Nicholas the
Is that your prison name?
Oh God, I hope not. You
Yes,
know what,
I'm coming to you live from Kitchen Klaus.
Kitchen Klaus.
Kitchen Klaus.
Nice.
What prison names be?
What do prison names be?
Yeah.
Shh, bitch. I would be bitch.
Just
I'd be
bitch.
somebody's bitch. I'd be somebody's bitch for sure, man.
Well, you are such a beta.
Dude. I mean, I'd stand up for myself, but I'm pretty sure I'd still get overpowered and beat down on a regular basis.
That sounds so sad.
This is why I try very hard to stay out of prison.
Jen's would be Jailbird Jen.
Jailbird Jen.
Yeah.
Okay. You guys are making me so tonight, because I've got the next pick. Like I've got some ideas, but I haven't solidified on what I want to follow this movie up on. So you guys' comments are already starting to feed towards something, and that puts something in my mind. But I don't know. Jailbird Jen feels very basic.
Yeah, that's pretty bad.
The basic.
Hmm.
Come on, get ruthless with it.
I don't know what prison names we would have.
Jen, I feel like, I don't know why, but Jen just feels like a jackal to me. Like, I feel like you could be like very like a jackal is what kind of like a dog, right? A bit like bit wolfish. So it can be very cute and can be very canine and like very friendly looking, but it'll fuck you up.
So what are you going with, like Jackal J?
Ooh, even better. Yeah.
Okay.
Or would she just be the Jackal?
Ooh, I like it.
I was trying to like combine like the first letter of the first name with like another word.
That's why like the Jackal J was pretty good. That feels. I mean, that feels like a prison name. That's a badass name, Jackal J. Like
That's okay.
I don't know.
All I was thinking was like, I really like knives. So maybe knives. And then you came up with Jackal J.
Like knives.
That is exactly what Jackal J would do. Oh my god, Jackal J loves knives. Yeah.
Knives.
Yes. I feel so validated in like associating you with Jackal. Like that is I hope you take it as a compliment because I do mean it that way. Brian, though.
Brian would be like
Bulldog Brian.
Forever the tree. You're just a tree.
Not intimidating.
Tree.
Big tree?
No, I feel like if you're gonna be called Tree, you gotta be like tall.
Yeah, I'm not tall.
I mean, you're not short either, but like, I mean, if you're going for something like that, it'd be like Stump, and that's not something you want to go.
I like the one that
White
kind of
wolf.
White wolf. Oh, dude. I mean, you're in prison. Do you really want like white associated?
That's, yeah, well, I mean that's true. But also look at me. It's not like I can change my my
Yeah,
pigment.
but you're. I mean, it barely works on Monkey Bar.
Hey,
you know,
what?
like
What are you guys?
it's risky. It's all I'm saying. I feel like I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
I was thinking like Pit Boss.
Okay,
Like Pit Boss. I don't know. It just
like Pitbull.
like the Pit Bull. Yeah, the Pit Bull.
Rattler. You're the rattler.
The Rattler.
You know what? I do.
Yeah.
I could see Brian being that guy that's like in jail, and as people are walking by, like he's rattling, like he's constantly just he's got something to say. Like you're that guy that's like
Like, you know what?
fresh
You know, I'm gonna
fresh
take
meat,
the
like,
what?
like,
You know, like
you're one of
that.
those guys that's getting everyone hyped up to like mess with the new guy.
No, you know what? You know what my prison name is? My prison name is just basically go through any Martin Scorsese film and start picking out some characters. I think that would be it, honestly, because he's
Oh God,
Italian mafia type, and they've got some good nicknames. I just can't think of any right now.
you're gonna do your Joe Pesci impression in prison. Like some guy's gonna say that you're funny. Like you're gonna crack one joke and somebody's gonna say you're funny, and then you're just
Yeah. What the
That's-
fuck
that-
am I
yeah,
meant to be
that's-
funny?
that switch is gonna flip, and they're gonna be like, "Oh shit!"
Do I amuse you? Am I in your entertainment?
Like Brian, you should be like you'd be the guy who like says funny shit all the time, but in an angry tone. You know what I mean? Like so that you know that people don't fuck with you, but you're also hilarious.
Oh my god.
It is such an odd premise for like.
All right. Well, are we gonna get into this?
Yeah, we've tangented off into prison names, which has been fun, but
Tangent over.
yeah. So back into focus on Con Air. So Brian, it was your pick, right? So
Yes.
So,
And what the hell just
why-
happened?
why'd you pick
there we
this?
All right. Yes. Con Air.
He raps.
What?
I said Nick's name will be Raps. Cause like he raps, but then like I feel like he'd be doing some like sneaky shit. Like he'd be the one making the knives.
Just say Nick Raps? Is that what you said?
Your name would be Raps.
Oh, just rap.
Raps.
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 Plural.
Yeah, but here's the funny thing: is like it's pronounced raps, and you would think it's because he raps,
But it's like
actually rap with a W.
yeah, exactly.
Like I rap.
Put them in a body bag.
Because you have
God.
the talent of hurting people.
Oh my god. I really do think that you could come up with some great puns based off of just rap. Like you on a that's your one pun is everything is rap. Like Chang and Community, how
Oh,
Chang something, you were rap something.
Raps.
you know what mine would be? Because you know, if I never want to be in prison, but
No?
I would be the one that would be known. That's the guy that talks about movies. He'll talk about movies for you for hours. So they would either call me Blockbuster or Blockbuster B.
You can't have my Wi-Fi name, all right?
Anyway, okay, so Con Air.
That's a viable reason to like survive is like be the guy that movies. I'm like, yeah, I'll reenact it in movies. What do you need? So anyway, so Forrest Gump, he was running.
One man show for the inmate.
Just a crazy man's ranting of just,
All right, who wants to see Castaway? You did that already. It's the easiest.
Like you play every role in the movie.
it's just 2 hours of me sitting there and then randomly screaming, Wilson!
Need a Wilson. Quick, Blockbuster needs a Wilson.
That feels
No. B-Buster. B-Buster.
B-Buster.
B-Buster, yeah.
Buster B.
Buster B.
Buster B sounds cooler. B Buster sounds like you're butt busting.
All right.
Which
So
is cool if that's your
like
thing.
as anyone can, but if you're listening to us rant idiotically, you may have already guessed that we might be doing a prison movie.
If you're unfamiliar with Con Air, that is the premise is prison.
If you haven't guessed that we're doing a prison movie, I'm worried about your intelligence, and I highly recommend that you don't pursue detective work in the future.
Well, it's not a movie about hair dryers?
No.
Like, okay, so our
Air,
was the big red dog. And
I picked Con Air, honestly, for a couple of reasons. I know we've done a couple Nick Cages in GoodFlickas. I don't think we've done too many of his movies, but I don't think we've really done Nick Cage in his prime. And I was kind of flipping through and I saw Hulu, or I saw that Con Air was on Hulu. I'm like, oh man, it's a prison movie. It's Nick Cage. I know we've talked about John Malkovich. I can't remember. We've done like maybe one movie with him. I can't remember which one it was.
Oh God, it's Ava.
Oh yes, it was. That's right. Yeah. And so this movie has a bunch of actors that I know we've mentioned and everything. I also was realizing we kind of went through the what did we call it? Christmas Disney December, and then we went into Super Mario's, and I'm like, I just kind of we need a little bit of action. We need to spice up our lives a little bit. And I'm sorry, I am like a 90s action junkie. It just, there's something about those movies that just really get to me. And I saw this one and I'm like, I think this is gonna be perfect for kicking us off on the new year.
Sweet. Yep. All right. It's much better than I turned on Hulu and it was there.
I always have a reason.
with that, Matthew.
Anyway.
I didn't pick it. It picked me.
There you go. Did anybody want to volunteer for thoughts?
I'll go first.
About to make Chris cry it up in here. Keep that shit up.
I'm sorry, what?
So it's about to be a prison riot up in here if you keep that shit up.
Jackal's gonna put on a knife show if you know what she means.
Yeah.
I hope you stay in character the whole time.
This a character, Nick. This is
I see it's already started. Okay. All right. I have never seen this movie before, and quite frankly, I really haven't seen hardly any Nicolas Cage movies. I've always heard about the kind of the memes and the rumors about him and his acting, and I never got drawn to it, and nobody ever really recommended Nick Cage movies. So maybe this will be the start. But this movie I thought was really good. I really enjoyed it. It's a really good action film. It's got a lot of moving parts, lots of different scenarios, lots of good characters, and it's got good energy to it. And there are some strange some questions I have about some things, but overall, like I thought it was a really solid action film. It was easy to follow, not super complicated. And I mean, like it wasn't, much of like a twisty kind of movie. It was pretty much straightforward. But yeah, I gave it a 4.5 out of 5.
Okay. You or me, Jen?
Oh, I don't care. I'll go. Okay, so
I talk a lot. I'd like to give you guys a chance.
okay, so Con Air. It's I know I've seen it before, but I mean I don't remember. I just remember a plane and big guys on the plane. That's the extent of me watching it. So it was nice to watch it, with fresh eyes, and I really enjoyed this movie. I thought they did a really good job. Everybody played their role very well, and the only thing that kind of fell for me was towards the end. I feel like they just kind of slapped a band-aid on it and tried to rush it, and it shows, at least for me. And so I had to dock off some points for that. So I give it a 4.75.
Okay. So this is not my first time seeing Con Air. It has been a while since I've seen Con Air. And I enjoyed it. Like this is a lot of fun. Nick, you've brought it up. Nick Cage movies are a very special breed. You never really know what you're gonna get. So it's hard to recommend him. Actually, didn't we watch another one? We watched Pig, where he's the chef or whatever. So like we've seen
That's actually my pick too.
Yeah. So like it's always, you never really know. And I don't think he was particularly over the top or anything in this one. I mean, if anything, this is more of a mellow deal for him. But I think the action in this movie is a lot of fun. The concept is really cool. The explosions, I mean, hell yeah. If you love watching stuff blow up and fire, this is a great movie for that. I had to double take just to make sure that this wasn't a Michael Bay movie. But this was really cool. I like the concept. It's a really fun idea. And the villain, John Malkovich, is great. I wish they'd done more with Buscemi. We'll get into that when we get into the movie and stuff. But I have my complaints. I think there's a little, like, I'll call them nitpicks. I don't even want to call them plot holes or anything, or maybe even potentially head scratchers. We'll see. But I've got some thoughts about this movie. But ultimately, because it's just kind of okay, it's not like some overwhelming story. It's really fun. And with nitpicks and everything, I couldn't give this too high of a score. So sorry, Brian, I'm over here tanking you. But I gave it a 3.4. I like it, but it's really not that great to me.
Cool.
All right. So, I mean, Connor, I've seen it multiple times, and definitely, growing up as a kid, I mean, Nick Cage, 90s, that was a time to be alive. Checking out these movies in the theaters. I'll talk about a couple more coming up, but it felt so good watching a 90s action movie again. Oh man, I love it. Half the shit doesn't make sense, and you're in for the ride the whole time. You're constantly entertained. There are things exploding left and right. It's just, there's nothing more entertaining than a 90s action movie. I swear, it was really cool to rewatch. I'm also a really big fan of when you can basically, when there's a movie that you can pretty much summarize in one line, and it just sounds awesome. And the line for Con Air is, "The worst of the worst are put on a plane." What else do you need besides that? It's like, that's the plot. and things get real fucked up real quickly. Like, I just love the one line summary action movies. It works. It works for, Top Gun. It works for Die Hard. There's just so many of them that you can start naming, and I feel like that this is when people really start to get what viewers were looking for when it comes to these type of movies. You've got the cast. We'll talk about the cast later. Just studded cast. Cyrus the Virus, one of the best villains of the 90s, hands down. I don't know what the list would be, but I do know for a fact he's definitely in the top for villains of the 90s for sure. You could probably throw in damn, I'd have to think on it for a little bit, but what else? I think that's it for the thoughts. I agree though. Like this is not a perfect movie. I'm actually kind of surprised to hear some of the higher ratings. I couldn't even give this one a 4.5. It's definitely a 4 for me, and that's just for pure entertainment and everything. But there are some things that I want to discuss. A lot of choices that were made, some logistics, and some things just plain out don't make any sense. So I'm really, as always, happy to be with you guys and breaking this one down. But I gave it a 4.4.
Okay. Yep.
I can't even give it a 4.5.
Making the movie.
No, I'm a fair. Even if I pick it, I am very true to my ratings. 4 years running, and I haven't swerved any direction here.
Yeah. I do have a comment on your like one line action movie kind of thing. I got that sort of feeling too with this movie, and I kind of thought it was going to be like one of those ones where it's like the entire movie is inside of the plane, kind of like a Scorsese film, It's just all like one location.
Right.
So I was a little surprised to see that it wasn't just all on the plane.
Right.
But yeah.
Also, I mean, could you come up with a better title? That title slaps so hard. God, it's so good. Whoever thought of that, they probably were on cloud 9 that night.
I mean, they could have made it like Con Airlines or something.
And that kills it, right? That doesn't know.
Con Airlines, Convict Airlines.
We're trying to make it better by making it longer.
Yeah. Or Convict Air. I don't know.
I'm not even gonna
I'm just spitballing here.
I'm not entertaining this. Con Air you just can't beat it. You can't beat it.
But I mean, like if Con Air were an actual airline, it would be Convict Airlines.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not call it Convict Airlines. We call it Con Air.
Yeah.
You're not changing the name.
Well, let's call it shit in the sky.
I don't know. I like,
right.
But I did like the name of the plane being Jailbird. Like that was funny to me.
I know, that's a cool name.
So I mean, they could have done something along those lines, like for a title. But all right, sorry, Brian. Did you have more that you needed to say?
No, I'm ready to lay down the knowledge for you guys.
I think Nick ran away to make his lyrics. Yeah. He doesn't memorize. He's a lot like Lil Wayne, where he may write down some notes, but he pretty much just improvs this.
Yeah, he's semi raps.
He's an expert. This dude grew up on the streets.
Yeah, the suburban streets of Vacaville.
Yeah, his hometown was mentioned in this movie by name.
Yeah, speaking of, we'll talk about that. All right, so I switched it up a little bit this week. This is a rap battle.
You're gonna battle yourself? Nice.
I didn't practice beforehand, so I hope I get it right the first time.
Told you guys, genuine. This guy's the real deal.
All right. My name's Nick, and I'm here to say I watched a movie called Con Air today. My name's Nicholas, last name Cage. I play a person there who's stuck on a plane. What is your accent? Are you on drugs? You act real fast but talk like a slut. Well, at least I'm not deaf and I can hear what you're saying. You're a dweeb and a nerd. Video games you're playing. Your acting is so boring I can barely stand it. Cyrus the virus should have killed you when you landed.
Give me the applause for that one. Oh, God. When you said a rap battle, I didn't know what to expect.
Oh my God, so entertaining.
To burn Nick Cage over and over. That was funny.
I hope that came across. Who was who?
Didn't quite nail his Alabama accent, but
That's all right.
it was the intent, like the intention. It was there. I got it. I'm with you.
Yeah.
All right. So Simon West, or I'm sorry, that's not where we start. Con Air. Con Air came out in 1997, directed by Simon West. Here's some titles under his belt. So Con Air, he directed Tomb Raider, the first one. The first one. He's directed The Expendables 2. And he also directed When a Stranger Calls. That's his top 4. Couple of ones that people may or may not know about. The Mechanic, Wild Card, The General's Daughter, and Stolen. That's his 8. I've seen all of these except for The General's Daughter. I haven't seen that one. When a Stranger Calls, man, that one really threw me off to see that he was part of that, because that's, if you look at all these other ones, it's like action, 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 and then all of a sudden you see When a Stranger Calls, and you're like, huh, got a little creative, did you? And honestly, not a bad movie. I remember that one. That one's a very creepy, eerie babysitting movie, and really well done.
Isn't that the movie that gave us The Call is Coming from Inside the House?
Yes, it certainly is.
Oh, yeah.
And the creepy ass ring that, like, when you hear it, you just like instantly think of that movie.
It gave us, yes, that it gave when he's perched up on the high beam, staring down.
Oh, yeah, that was creepy too.
That one was freaking creepy. And then also when you have the outhouse or like the guest house, and you see the lights turn on and he's pacing back and forth. They had some really solid scenes in that movie that are just very chilly. Okay. So we've mentioned the cast. I'm going to kind of take my time on this one because of the amount of people that there are. So first and foremost, the lead of the film, or actually you can pretty much say maybe co-lead of the film, battling with the other, but you have Nicolas Cage, who plays Cameron Poe. And we've already mentioned a little bit about Cage. He's been in my life as far back as I can remember. And just the different style movies that he's been in is in just what type of Cage are we going to get? Are we going to get Raising Arizona Cage? Are we going to get, Face Off Cage? Are we going to get, anyone remember It Could Happen to You? Anyone remember that little Nick Cage one?
That one's cute.
What?
That one's cute.
Yeah. It's just, he's got such a range. And then, we've already done Pig, and we saw what that one does. And just, I don't know, the Cage-a-thons, man, it's deep. It's deep. Go ahead, Jen.
I was just gonna comment on his physique, and not like in a from like ugu gaga. Like, this is the most like fit I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Like, I can't recall another movie where he's like this ripped, and like whatever his training and preparation for, like I always like appreciate the athletes. Incredible. Absolutely incredible.
No, boy was jacked. And even the hair that he had going on with him and everything, like I was like, dude, you came prepared for this role. And it sounds like he really did. Like he worked out every day. He was working out in between takes on set. They had like a gym equipment and all that, and he would just be pumping iron and all that in between filming. Like he was absolutely dedicated to looking as peak as he could get.
Yeah, no, it shows. He did a good job. And like he made it like where like it does look like a prison physique, you know?
Yeah.
It's like you're not super bulked up.
Yeah,
but
you're not Dwayne Johnson or
yeah, and but you're not like death looking either. Like, yeah,
right.
he nailed it.
Yeah. So you have John Malkovich, who plays Cyrus the Virus. Wow, just what a performance. Unbelievable performance. Then you have John Cusack, and I kind of want to take a moment to talk about him. I've always felt, and I want to see if you guys are the same as this, that we didn't get, I just don't feel we got the career that we could have got out of John.
I like John Cusack, but I feel like he's kind of built this personality about himself to where he's just kind of this dry, somewhat bland person. And I think that that's kind of been the issue. Is like like, is it? I want to say, is it High Fidelity? Is the one where the record store, like that's like him peak, and that is his quintessential character. You know, like even Hot Tub Time Machine, he's that same guy, this kind of depressive, like, yeah, life kind of sucks, but like it's gonna be good. Like
and this is what I'm saying though. It's like when you look at him in say Con Air or even what was it? 16 Candle, basically like young Cusack, right? You look at him and you're like, okay, this guy is going to be a really, really good actor. And we're gonna see a lot of great films from him and all that. And just something happened. I don't know what, but it just didn't, I don't think it went the way that I was hoping it would go, is kind of where I'm trying to get at this.
I agree with you, especially since his sister, who was also in 16 Candles,
right,
done marvelous things where she's all over the board as far as
she really is.
And
even when he was in Stand By Me too.
He was in Stand By Me?
Yeah.
Who's it? John Cusack is in Stand By Me?
Yeah, as he's Denny LaChance.
Is that John Cusack right there in the middle?
No, that's John Hughes.
Who's, because I saw 16 Candles recently.
John Cusack in that movie is one of the nerds. He's not the skinny nerd. He's the thicker nerd that's always hanging out with Farmer Ted.
Yeah. Oh, and then the other one, like another young one, was when he did Say Anything.
Yeah, there he is.
Yeah, that's him.
Yeah, that's him.
Okay.
That's him.
Yeah.
But no, when he did Say Anything, it's just like I said, when you're looking at him and young John, you're like, this guy's gonna have a great career. And I just am really surprised to see the turn that he had. There are a couple ones that in his later careers that I thought he did really, really well on. The two of them are, one of them is Runaway Jury, if you haven't seen that one. And another one that I just recently watched that I had no idea was called The Raven.
Oh yeah.
And that came out in 2012, and he's Edgar Allan Poe.
Yeah.
Oh man. It's like, and when you see that, you're just like, what happened, John? You still can do it. I just don't know why. I don't know. I don't know what it is. I'm kind of just at a loss. And I have been for a very long time when it comes to his career. Go ahead, Nick.
I just had a kind of question from Matt. Matt, when you said that he is sort of like this kind of dry, bland character, were you saying that that's just how he was in this movie, or just him as an actor in general?
That's just kind of his personality as an actor. Like, I mean, a lot of the times that you see him, he's kind of depressive. He's got this slow pace to his deliveries. I mean, I'm not saying he's like, he drags on and has no personality. He can, but I mean, like, even in this one, he doesn't shout, like he's not full of energy. Half the time, like he's standing still. Like, I mean, you know what I mean? Like he's when I think of John Cusack roles, I don't think of him being Nick Cage running around and like the star of the show. Like
Right.
like Hot Tub Time Machine is a great example where he is the star of that movie, but does not shine. You think of that movie, you think of the supporting cast.
You can make the case for 2012 as well.
I don't even remember 2012.
You don't?
I mean, I do, but like that's yeah. I forgot he was in that. See, that's what I mean. Like he's I don't see him commanding the screen, you know?
I know.
Well, I think what's the horror one that he does? 20 was it the hotel room 21?
Oh, 1408?
That one. Yeah. Like that's probably his best thing. And it's because he's not competing with anybody. It's just him.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like that's my point is like he doesn't really shine unless it's just him.
Yeah.
Jen, you had your hand up.
Yeah.
I talked enough.
Well, I mean, I was gonna just respond to like I sort of agree with you, Matt. I thought that his role in this was kind of not that the role he played was bland or dry, but I think that he just kind of he not super memorable, I guess. Like he didn't stand out from like other characters.
To me, a lot of the times, John Cusack, he's fine. Like he's great. He's a solid guy. You put him on the screen. He's going to do great.
Hey, he's a great actor.
Yeah.
He's. I honestly, I felt the same way about Jason Bateman for a long time, where he was always just kind of playing that same kind of snarky character, which he still does.
Sarcastic dad role.
Yeah, but it was always boring. He was always kind of like this blandish dude. And then later on, like now he started to play where like he still has that personality, but he's more of a prick. Or, you know, like he's got more personality on top of it.
Yeah, he was very much cast type.
Yeah. So there's just certain characters, there's certain actors like that where that's how I've seen them for so long. And John Cusack, unfortunately, like even as Edgar Allan Poe, like that's a perfect role for him. A depressed dude writing poetry about darkness and death. Like, yeah.
And that's why he excelled in that movie. Oh my God, that was so good.
I really don't mean that as any sort of negative thing, but like that's where unfortunately, that's where he shines.
It's with the way he is, you could easily see him playing the role of a serial killer or like a, murderer that FBI is chasing and hunting down and is smarter than everybody. Like it just fits him.
Yeah.
You believe it so easily.
Well, that was Steve Buscemi in this movie.
Yeah.
What I think is going to be fun about John Cusack is him as an old man. Like, as in, like, I mean, him coming into something as an old man, I think he's going to be so much fun.
That's not bad. Yeah.
Like, I know that that's not a great thing to like be like, oh, John, like, keep acting. Your career isn't over. But when you get really old, oh, you're going to be a lot of fun.
All right. So continuing, we have Ving Rhames, who plays Diamond Dog. Yeah.
Marcellus Wallace, what's good?
We have Bubba. I'm sorry. I mean Mykelti Williamson, who is Baby O. You've got a nice little cameo of Dave Chappelle.
It is a cameo.
Huh?
It's more than just a cameo.
All right, fine. Not a cameo.
Put some respect on that man's name.
I will. Honestly, well, I'll save it for later. Colm Meaney is Duncan Malloy.
Fucking worst.
And then other names: Steve Buscemi, Danny Trejo. I think I've mentioned all the major ones. I don't know. All right. Did anyone have any other actors that they want to talk about, highlight, anything like that, characters, whatnot? Go ahead, Nick.
I don't know her name, and I don't know if you mentioned her name, but the copy girl from Friends with the belly button piercing, she was in this.
Oh, I missed her.
Was she really?
She was the one with like the short red hair. And, like,
I'm gonna fight you on this one.
Isn't that her?
You're picking a girl with short hair, and you're like, yeah, that's her.
I mean, she's got the same face, and this is 97. Not like, you know.
I'm not saying it's not, but am I going to search for it? You bet your ass.
Like
I got
the first
nothing
time I
on that
saw her,
one.
I was like, "Oh, she looks familiar." And then I saw her again. I was like, "Oh, that has to be her."
That has to be her, dude.
It must be.
Must be. Must be.
Okay, while we do that, we'll no other actor mentions or anything.
Oh, I wanted to shout out. I think it's Rachel Ticotin.
Mhm.
Sure. But she was the female guard. I don't know
okay.
her that much, but I immediately recognized her from Total Recall.
Oh shit!
Oh.
Immediately recognized her from Total Recall.
I did not
So, like,
until now.
I'm happy to see her in something else.
Yeah.
Because I love Total Recall, and she's a total badass in that too. So, yeah, I'm
All right.
deep diving for.
So we'll go into the reviews here, or yeah, the reviews. So we are going to give this one 4.26 out of 5 stars.
How much? Sorry, I missed it.
4.26.
Okay, I don't feel so bad then.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm still keeping my 4-star average.
Mhm.
IMDb is 6.9 out of 10. Letterbox is 3.4 out of 5. And Raj gave it 3 out of 4 stars.
Good
I
old.
read the review. There's really not much to quote on that one. It's pretty generic. Just his review is more of a summary of what to expect. Budget 75 million. Worldwide gross is 224 million. So good job, guys.
Very good.
The awards is where it gets real funny. Go ahead, Matt.
I just want to confirm Nick is correct. Copy
Good
girl.
job, boy. Way to get one.
She plays Jenny in Con Air.
I knew that was her.
Bet you that feels good, huh?
Angela Featherstone.
That's her name, Angela
Best
Featherstone.
actress, her name is Angela Featherstone.
To me,
Well done, Nick.
she'll always be the copy girl with the belly button piercing.
Weirdly, to me, she's Linda from The Wedding Singer, or the copy girl, Chloe, the copy girl.
Okay.
Linda. Which one's Linda?
Linda is Robbie's ex-fiance. I'll take off my T-shirt before you jinx the
That. Oh my god. Okay. I don't even think I recognized her in this movie at all, to be honest.
She has like this bright, like orange reddish hair and these like ocean sky blue eyes. Like, how can you miss
Coffee Girl. Where was this?
I think she was in one of like the towers, like in the I don't know what it's called.
In the FBI?
She was working with Cusack.
In the Vacaville building?
I don't think so. No.
Okay.
Ground control was.
All right. Well, we'll continue on that. All right. So awards. Oh man, this is where it gets fun. It was nominated for 2 Oscars. One of them was Best Sound, and another was Best Music Original Song. How Do I Live? Okay, got it.
Yeah, can we talk about that song?
Sure. What do you want to talk about?
Well, first off, I had no idea that song was written for this damn movie.
Yeah, I didn't either. I learned that too.
I had no idea that song was written for this. I grew up, that song was like a staple on the country channel, and we listened to the country station all the time.
And who was the name that was always affiliated with it?
See, now that's where I don't know. Because
for me, it's always and forever has been LeAnn Rimes. I had no idea that there were other names behind the song besides LeAnn Rimes. There was so much that I learned already by doing the research on this.
I think you know more about it than me, but that was like my biggest mind blowing of this song. Like one, when it started playing, the first time at the beginning of the movie, I was just like, oh God, this song. Like
No,
I
no,
don't
the
like
song
this
still
song.
slaps. I love
I
it.
don't like this song.
No, see, I swear this song is like a divider. It's either people love it or they hate it. There is no in between.
The problem is it's not a bad song. I've heard it too many times. I don't wanna live without- Like it's
I
like
haven't heard it enough.
you need to get your southern boy to feel emotions and hold his girl tight without like God, I'm so sick of this song. So it's not a bad song, but I am definitely tired of hearing it.
Well, this is gonna just roll perfectly. So I already told you it was nominated 2 Oscars. Okay. Now guess what else award I'm gonna bring up? The Razzies are back, baby.
Yeah.
The Razzies, 2 nominees. One of them is for worst reckless disregard for human life and public property.
I mean,
I love it.
They're not wrong.
to win that one, they should.
And the next is worst original song, How Do I Live?
Get out of here.
Oh man.
So to summarize, this is the first time this has ever happened on a GoodFlickas movie that we've done. A song was nominated for an Oscar and a Razzie.
Well, didn't we just say people either love it or hate it?
This
There's
is both the
truth.
best and worst song.
Oh man, I loved it. I was like, oh, these awards are too good. Too good right now. Okay, here we go. Some cool things here.
Did it win any of the Razzies?
I'm sorry.
Did it win any of the 6?
No, just nominees.
Just nominees. Yeah.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
I'm going to start off on the bad note so we can just continue forward. I just have to find it. Yes, it's right here. This film was dedicated to Phil Swartz. And the reason is, unfortunately, we all know we love movies. And the reality is making a movie can be very dangerous at times. And as safe as people try to be, sometimes it just isn't enough. It doesn't go right. Something happens. In this case, something serious happened. They were dealing with rigged planes that were hanging, and one of them fell on top of Phil Swartz and killed him during production.
What fell on him?
The rigged plane, one of the rigged planes that they were working with.
Oh.
Yeah, just complete freak accident, and unfortunately, obviously it took the crew by storm, and the least that they could do was dedicate the film to him. So for those of you who are making movies for us, be safe, and we appreciate everything that you guys do out there. So just want to get that out of the way. I wasn't expecting to see that when I was doing the research, and I was like, oh boy. All right. So Malkovich was not happy on set. And the reason why is they kept rewriting the script every day. And Malkovich, being the Class A actor that he is, was so concerned on how his character was going to be portrayed on scene with all these changes being made. He himself was losing how Cyrus the Virus should be, which is freaking astonishing to hear when you see the performance that was actually delivered by Malkovich. So great job there. Dave Chappelle improv most of his lines. I'm not surprised at all.
Yeah, I love it.
There were many actual 911 calls were made, saying that there were really low planes flying over Las Vegas Strip. So people got a little concerned there.
I have a question about this.
Yeah.
And maybe you have some fun facts about it, but how did they film that whole Las Vegas scene?
Oh, I've got some facts coming up
Okay.
for you on that. Yeah.
I'm ready for them.
Yep. Cage traveled to Alabama to work on his accent.
Mm.
He also did most of his stunts, his own stunts. And more Cage, the bunny rabbit was his idea. He thought it would be, he basically wanted to hone in on this bunny rabbit is a symbolism of hope that I will soon be with my family. And he thought it would add an extra fluff to Cameron Poe character. So all Cage's idea there. All right, you little movie nerds. This is part of Nicolas Cage's Holy Trinity of action films. Can anyone name the other two?
National Treasure. I don't know.
I want to say Gone in 60 Seconds.
Ghost Rider.
Oh boy. Oh boy.
I know Face Off is.
Come on, guys. Nick Cage 90s action. There's two big movies.
I know Face Off is one.
There's one of them.
And
It's not Gone in 60 Seconds?
What?
Not Gone in 60 Seconds?
No, it's not. No.
What else is he in that's an action movie? The Weatherman.
Pig.
Sorry, The Family Man. That's the one.
Do you need a hint?
Yes.
Yeah.
No. That's
Oh, The Rock. Duh.
bingo.
I haven't seen The Rock.
You what?
Ain't seen it.
You just broke me, Matt. Okay. Anyway, so yes, that is Nicolas Cage's Holy Trinity. The Rock came out a year before this. Then came Con Air, and a few weeks later is Face Off.
Wow.
Nick Cage you just couldn't find anyone bigger at that in those 2 years at all. He was our guy.
I want to say at a certain point in his career, he was like releasing an average of 2 movies a year.
Oh, I believe it. I would totally believe it. Especially like in the 90s for sure.
Okay, 1, 2.
Cusack on record says Con Air is a bad movie.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm like, all right, dude. Way to dump on your own movie, but okay. This was Simon West's directorial debut. Before, he was most known for directing a music video that is unbelievably popular. And is known for if you prank someone, you prank them with this music video. Does anyone know what the music video is?
Oh, Rick Astley.
He directed
Never Gonna Give.
Yeah.
He directed Never Gonna Give You Up.
Oh.
Wow.
I had no idea. So
It will live on forever.
So from the director who brings you Never Gonna Give You Up, now gives you Con Air.
I would love like in the beginning of this movie, it's like from the director that brought you Rick Astley. Like,
Oh
That
god.
probably was in that'd be like in the trailer.
yeah.
I want somebody to do the edit where it's either the beginning kiss or the final kiss where the song plays, but instead of it being Leanne Rimes, it's Rick Astley. It's a Rick roll.
Oh my god.
You just like it gets all romantic. They're in the rain and Like,
Yeah,
like-
I'll bet you it's been done. I'll bet you someone's done it.
I think that's fucking hilarious. I want to see it.
All right. So there was obviously possible Cameron Poe's, and I didn't even bother writing them down because it's the 90s and we already know who would have been there. The one that I did write down though for possible Cyrus the Virus really, really caught my attention. I mean, if Malkovich couldn't have done it. And that would be Willem Dafoe.
Oh.
Uh-huh.
Oh my gosh, both Steve Buscemi and Defoe. No. It's just
Wasn't he in this movie?
way too scary of a movie.
Yeah.
Was it Willem Dafoe in this movie?
No.
No.
I thought I saw his name on a credit recently.
No, definitely wasn't in this one. Okay, the Vegas. Nick, you asked.
Yes.
The Vegas.
Couple of things about Vegas.
The
There was a mini set that was built that was basically 250 feet of the Vegas Strip, and it was a exact replica. They used this set, they put a plane, the plane and everything, and they had it basically flying 40 miles per hour, real speed, and crashing into this set with explosions and all that stuff. And then they did movie magic to make it look like it was actual Vegas Strip.
That's awesome.
They then took on the real Vegas Strip stunt drivers driving on an open road out of the way, trying to pretend that they were trying to swerve out of the way of a moving airplane, CGI'd the airplane into this and layered it to where now it looks like the airplane, the Con Air is about to land on the strip and cars are trying to get out of the way of it.
I suspected that part. The part that I didn't understand was the crashing into the buildings. I was like, how did they?
I saved the best for last.
Ooh, okay.
They actually crashed into a real Las Vegas casino. It was real. They had one shot to do this. It was the Sands Hotel, and it was on the market to be demoed.
Mm.
And they said, wait. Can you hold off demolition for just 2 or 3 weeks, and we will happily land a plane into your building? And they're like, story checks out. We're good. Yeah, let's do that.
What the heck?
So they had one take to do this. They had one take to do this, and what you see is what you get: real explosions, a real plane crashing into a real building, and everything about this is real.
Wow.
That's crazy because I really was like,
I
man,
love the movie research sometimes. It is so cool what we find out. And as far as I'm concerned, everything I read is true. So
yeah, it's just like that crashing scene just looked really real, and
yeah. And that's because it really was.
That's insane. That's awesome.
Now, the original ending before they decided Vegas, and I'm so glad they went Vegas versus this, because I'm like, what are we doing here? What are we doing? They wanted, I'll give you a hint. They wanted to crash the plane on 1600 Pennsylvania.
The White House?
They wanted to crash the plane into the White House. And I'm like,
why?
First of all, logistics. We're way off the map here. It's like we're talking Carson City, Vacaville. So we're obviously California, Nevada, West Coast. And now you're gonna tell me that you dumb fucks managed to make it all the way over to the White House? And for what purpose was this? Like, if you're going to freedom, you're going to our national government.
Yeah.
What are we thinking here?
Yeah, there'd be no point.
Vegas is the most free place.
Yeah. Go ahead, Matt.
Well, it's very interesting to me because if you wanted to lean into the idea of crashing into the White House. One, you have to find a legitimate reason for why they would be going to Washington, D.C., which they're
Correct.
criminals. There's plenty of reasons to come up with, I'm sure. But it, for me, what I think it actually does that would improve this movie is it does put it entirely on the plane.
Mm-hmm.
It bottle episodes it, right? Like it makes it so like it's this one location where most of the story is taking place, and then you've got the cops on the ground that are trying to figure out how to deal with it.
Oh, interesting.
You know, it's like it rather than because the whole bit of this being on a plane, it's like it could have been a bus.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like okay, so they get on this plane, they take the plane, they land the plane. They trick the cops there. They trade and they get more of the bad guys. They release those bad guys. And then they take the plane again.
Mm-hmm.
And then they land. It's like, what is happening? It's like there's no real rhyme or reason for why it had to be a plane other than like it's a really cool idea to have convicts take over a plane.
It's almost as if they were too afraid to bottle the movie entirely in a plane. And they just didn't want to take the chance.
I think the biggest problem is that this movie was being written day before.
That or day of, and yeah, constant rewrites of the script.
Yeah. So what are your other options? Like we can't constantly be flying this plane.
Right.
If we're not writing every episode or writing every scene so that it's inside of this plane, then we have to ground this plane, in which case you don't have your convicts on a plane anymore, which is the whole point. So I think that a better story could have been written where, like, okay, if there's a Con Air 2, which I'm sure has probably already been brought up and thought of in this world, so I'm not going to consider this a unique idea. But if it hasn't been written yet, screw it. Lean into that idea. Put them on the plane, write a good story that makes sense for them. You know, they got what is it, 8 hours to get across the country on a plane? 6 to 8 hours.
Mm-hmm.
That's plenty of time to come up with a great how did the convicts get the plane and then get off kind of deal.
Yeah.
It's a different movie for sure, but like you could still have them crash into the White House. There are little parachutes in the back that have, you know, like instead of like an American flag, it just says con on it.
That's the movie I want.
Right? There's your action flick.
Which is what I thought this movie was going to be. Like as soon as they all got on the plane, it was going to be like the entire movie's on this plane, and then like a whodunit, you know, whatever.
Everyone's guilty.
Well, I guess not whodunit, but it's how are they going to do it? Yeah.
That's all I got for the fun facts. I just realized there's one actor I forgot to mention. MC Gainey, who plays Swamp Thing. I don't know if anyone's seen Lost, but I recognized him from one of the others of Lost, the one of the lead guys.
I've seen Lost too.
You've seen Lost?
Yeah.
He's the one that first starts off with a long beard and then ends up it's fake, and so they rip off the beard and
Oh yeah, him. Okay.
Yeah.
Happy or something, or Mr. Happy.
Is that his name?
Yeah, it's a weird name.
Yeah, I can't remember. I don't remember his name, but he's also the one that like confronts Jack in the middle of the jungle and for the first time.
Yeah, it's Mr. Happy, I think they call him.
So that's him, who also plays Swamp Thing, who's the pilot of Con Air.
Oh, okay. We're talking about MC.
Yeah.
He's been in so many things.
Yeah, he has. I was looking at he's been in Django Unchained, which I don't remember him in that one at all.
I think he's just one of the clan members.
He's a voice in Tangled. He's in Mighty Ducks, which I really don't remember that at all.
He's the limo driver.
He's Lewis.
Isn't he? Lewis, the limo driver.
Yeah, see, it's like I don't really remember him in any of these, but I guess he wasn't that familiar to me at that time.
Oh, there's a bunch of different stuff.
He's got a great voice. His voice is so cool.
I'm just going through all of his stuff. Like, yeah, he's been in so many things.
Yeah.
I forgot all of the Broken Lizard stuff that he's done. I think so. I can never get his damn name right, but Jay Chandrasekhar, if you guys know him, recognize him. I know you've seen a lot of the stuff, but he's Broken Lizards. Do you guys know these guys that do Club Dread, Beer Fest, Super Troopers, Slam and Salmon?
Super Troopers, Beer Fest, you got me. But the rest,
those
no.
guys. So Beer Fest.
Yeah.
I know, or I can't. I'm blanking on Ramathorn in the dark skinned guy in Super Troopers, where they keep mistaking him for I think they're calling him a Mexican, like, but he's, you know what I'm talking about? He's like the leader of the cops. That's not the
yeah, I know, but I'm pretty sure it's been 15 years since I've seen it.
That guy is he's a pretty like he's a director as well, like he writer, director, actor, but like he's directed a lot of stuff. And I think a lot of the stuff he's directed, he's actually partnered with what was his name? MC Gainey.
MC Gainey, yeah.
He's partnered with him a lot. So I'm not sure like where that partnership began, but
okay.
The two of those guys have worked together a lot of times. Including those movies, Beer Fest and that I just mentioned. So
yeah.
But let's start at the very beginning. A very good place to start.
It's because I didn't put your name in my rap today. That's why you're acting up.
I don't know how to behave. Normally, your rap dictates my attitude and activity throughout the night.
No, it puts you in your place when I include you.
Yeah, you were too nice to me, and you were mean to Nick Cage for no reason.
Here's a question for you, Mr. Beginning Man.
Yeah.
Could you argue that there's two beginnings to this movie?
I want to say yes.
Me too.
I'm trying to. Yeah. Okay. But what are yours? Like, because I'm trying to remember the intro.
Well, you get the intro scene where he's military.
Yes.
And he graduates it and then returns home and all that stuff. And then at the end of it, Con Air, you get a title drop, black background title drop. Then after that, you get the in prison montage where he's writing and it's like narrative where he's writing to Trisha, then he's writing to Casey, and he's doing all the prison workouts and all that. So that whole thing, I think, also could be counted as an intro as well. And I have definitely comments on both of these, but go ahead, Nick.
I thought the very beginning was when he shows up at that bar and he's with his wife and like the guys are, busting his ass and then he gets in the fight. That's okay. That's
part one.
Yeah, I think that maybe it's a two-part intro. Maybe that's a good way to put it.
Well, and this is so this is what's so interesting about it. Like, I agree with you. Like, there's pretty much those two parts. It's like before title drop, after title drop.
Mm-hmm.
So interesting about the pre-title drop is you get a lot. Like you said, you get the Ranger stuff. You get him like actually out doing things, and then it's the return, and you get this fight, and it's like it's pretty intense. There's a lot going on. It's rise, it's fall, it's like it's an emotional roller coaster in a very short amount of time, and it's massive story. Like it's massive plot points being dropped on you. Like
they hit you with "How Do I Live" almost out the gate.
So much. So, like there's so much happening. So yeah, go ahead. No, go ahead, Brian. Like I'm just saying.
Well, it rarely happens, but I found myself writing notes right out the gate. I'm like, oh, okay. I forgot that it was this quick. So here's one that I'm like, I would love to talk this one out. how is Trisha pregnant? And I'm not asking about the birds and the bees. I understand how that works, people. They act like they haven't seen each other for a very, very, very long time. Her belly is about as flat as it gets. So we're probably thinking not even 3 months pregnancy. We're well within the first trimester. I mean, are we assuming that he had a break? It just, the pregnancy and the way that she is, it really throws you off when it comes to how this happens, especially when they act like they haven't seen each other for a very long time. I don't know how long the academy was. I just have some questions there.
Well, to answer your question with another question, was that him graduating the academy, or was that him retiring from the Ranger? Like, was that him retiring from the?
I saw it as an academy graduation.
Well, so to me, I thought it was a retirement because the way that it goes down is like it seems like he is kind of a private citizen when this manslaughter happens.
Mm-hmm.
But because it's, and that's the whole thing, is like he's returning from a military family. Like he's out of the academy, he's out of basic training, and now you're excited because you get to raise this family. It's like, no, you're a Ranger, dude. If you're just out of the academy or whatever, that means you're going to be gone a lot.
Yeah.
I
don't know.
I saw it as like a retirement, and it's like he's done, and it's like perfect timing. We've got our babies on the way. We get to start our life, and then before they can even begin, it's taken away because of this guy.
Good point.
Like I said, there's a lot. There's a lot. It's an info dump. Go ahead, Chen.
I just wanted to say that for women that are like active and fit and healthy, sometimes you really can't tell that they're pregnant until like around the 4 to 6 months mark. Then they'll start showing. So she could have been further along than what you think.
I still think it's a stretch. Yeah, I don't think they thought this one out. I really don't.
And so here's my question, medicine man. At what point can they, like, how far along can they tell the sex of the baby?
Oh, that's
like 6 months.
No, well before then. 6 to 8 weeks, I think.
Or is it 6 weeks?
14 to 16. Damn it, I've got too many numbers in my head.
Okay.
So it's somewhere around there. It's like 6 to 8 or 4. I can't remember which one.
Either way, you're saying approximately 2 months. We'll say 2.5 months.
18 and 22 weeks.
Damn it. Okay, so I was closer on the 16 to 18.
Okay, then now I need some help on math on that one. That's so like 4 months. 16.
Yeah, 4 months.
4 months. Okay. I don't know now, because that I was actually about to defend it, but now my questioning is, he says little girl, like he knows, like like they know the sex of the baby. She's not very far along, but it's right at that 3-4 months. So Jin, like you're saying, like it might be, it's somewhere. So I'm saying plausible, but it's
a stretch, guys.
There's some questions happening for sure, but also I don't think that it's. I'm
thinking Poe sent his little shrimp po' boys in the mail or something, and
but I don't think. I think what he was doing was a lot more of like, you're here, you get sent off for mission, you do the mission, you accomplish the mission. When the mission is accomplished, you return home, you wait for the next mission. So
maybe
I think there's plenty of time for him to have been able to done the deed. But
I'm just saying that hello was a I haven't seen you in a minute. Hello.
Gia's wife, like, I mean, I'd be excited to see her too.
Yeah, the Margot Robbie of the 90s. Of course I saw her. All right. The other thing that I wrote, my nitpick, is Cameron sent to jail. Let's unpack this one. There was an altercation in the bar that the drunk dude started with multiple witnesses seeing that basically Cam was being harassed by this guy. Then nothing happens, and he's escorting his wife back to her car, and here come the three idiots yet again. It is 3-on-1, multiple witnesses again, see what's going on, and he brings out a knife. I don't care if you are professionally trained or not. You self-defend yourself to save your life, no matter what it takes. I disagree with the judge so much on the decision. He's like, and I get they try to cover it up by saying you're a trained militant man, therefore you don't abide by the same laws as the normal general public, blah, 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 because you are a highly skilled lethal weapon is basically what he was going with. But I'm sorry, you come at me with a knife, it's self-defense. It is self-defense up and down, no matter what, because if I don't react, I could lose my life. This person is now threatening my life, and I need to protect my life. That's how this works. He should not have gone to jail by any means necessary. Was it Jen or Matt? Who was it? Jen?
Oh, it was me? Okay. He shouldn't have been in a fight. Let's be real. They're all wrong. Had he just gone in the car, stayed in the car, then what? They would have smacked a window or something as he left.
I'll give you that.
He engaged in this fight means that they're all wrong. They all should have been.
That's facts.
We're missing the big fact here. So it's neither of you is wrong, but there's a very important shot that they show that is important to remember. They took the knife away from the crime scene. The other two guys ran. There is no proof of a knife being there. People know that he fought this guy. That's the point of that shot, is to show, like, yes, we know he's innocent. We know it was self-defense, but they took that knife away from the scene, meaning there's no evidence that that knife was ever there. They can't prove it was self-defense. Therefore, this is a man who should have known better that in a fist-to-fist, a hand-to-hand combat with an average citizen, you will kill them. You should have had better restraint, because there was no signs, there was no evidence of his life being threatened. That's why he ends up in jail. He's wrong. He's wrong to go to prison. He does his time, even though, the reason he even says that he's guilty is in an effort to get the shorter sentence. He doesn't believe he's guilty because he's like, there was a knife. They threatened my life. They attacked me with a knife and I responded.
Yeah.
So like
terrible lawyer. Terrible lawyer.
There's you're telling me there's got to be some evidence that this dude had a knife. Like, you got to build some plausible, like, oh well, it is likely that this guy had a knife. That's what you fight for. So yeah,
the cops can't track down these guys. Like, come on, it's not like we're in New York City here.
He's a regular. She knows this guy.
Exactly.
He harasses her on a daily basis. Like, this is not.
It's an open closed case.
The evidence is pretty easy, but because there's no knife, there's no smoking gun. Can't do it. Go ahead, Nick.
Here's my question, though. Brian, you said that there were witnesses to this fight. Did none of these witnesses see a knife?
Nobody sees the fight. They only see the end result because she runs in to get people. It's raining outside. You're not going to see a guy with a knife from across the parking lot.
Yeah,
running through rain. You're not going to see a knife, and you're not going to see a guy swipe one off of the ground as he runs off. Nobody saw that knife. There's no way to prove it. He doesn't slice anything. He never gets a chance to cut him, like
But there's video evidence of the film camera.
Oh,
Sorry.
oh,
Um,
sorry. I had a random. This is a random thought that I meant to do during fun facts.
Yeah.
I couldn't remember it at the time. So I want to say on IMDb, I read that J.J. Abrams got like an uncredited role or something of like he doctored the script or something, like he had some work on this script. And J.J. Abrams did the third saga of Star Wars, where I believe he introduces a character named Poe Dameron.
oh wow, did not know this.
I'm so curious if there's that connection of like maybe his involvement with this script in some way gives like Cameron Poe his name,
Yeah.
or that's just a huge stretch. This is me like completely fantasizing about something, but I thought that was an interesting thing.
The other big name you just reminded me that I forgot to mention behind this is Jerry Bruckheimer.
Oh yeah.
Mhm.
Oh.
People may know that name.
Yes. Well, another random fact that I think I read on IMDb. This movie was this was the first time that his new production logo. So like when you see Jerry Bruckheimer's thing, every time that I see like the road and the crashing lightning.
Yeah, with the lightning and everything.
I'm always like Jerry Bruckheimer.
Yeah.
I always know Jerry Bruckheimer.
Was this his first time that he did that?
So I don't know what it was before, but
okay.
Whatever this version of his production logo was, this was the first time that they had done that.
Interesting.
So yeah, because that's how I know it now, is what this was.
Yeah.
Sorry. Fun fact.
That's all I wrote for the intro.
Okay. Yeah, I'm. Well, that's first part. That's first part of intro. We haven't even talked about the imprisoned letters.
Okay.
Which this was actually I kind of had a nitpick about this. I like.
Oh, actually, sorry. Circling back just a little bit.
Yeah.
I did with the intro. Or the first part of the intro. I really appreciated the instant connection that they gave us with Poe and Trisha, because if you don't get that immediately, the rest of the movie falls apart, because I need to know that, number one, she's not going to leave him when he goes to prison.
Yeah.
I need to know that all he cares about is his family. And with that scene, you see the unbelievable amount of love that these two have for each other. And I thought they did a really, really good job on that, because if you miss the mark, it just everything the whole ball of yarn starts to unravel at that point. So shout out to Simon West for that one.
I agree. They had great like chemistry from the start.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you totally fed into their relationship of like, yeah, this is.
Yeah, it's like you like the start of the movie, you're just like, God, this is adorable. Like it's just it's like a whole different feel to the actual movie you're about to watch.
What a turn! What a turn we will have in the next 2 minutes.
Exactly.
But yeah. So yeah. So after the fight and everything, and he goes off to prison. I really enjoyed like the montage of it all, of like seeing him, like, okay, he works out, he stays strong, he's meditating, he's reading, like it's like he's there, but while he's there, we see that he's making every effort to improve. In whatever
he's completely ignoring the riot.
Just whatever. Oh no, like I mean, he looks upset by it, like
he's like, I'm not dealing with this shit.
Like it's why would they do this? Like it's,
yeah.
And trying to change. Like I really liked that you got all of that within this montage. And I liked the letters. I liked the letter idea of hearing them kind of like reading back and forth and stuff. I didn't like how it was done. The, you know, mainly mainly Nick Cage. Yeah. What's his wife's name?
Trisha.
Yeah, Trisha. It's been a long like it's
Dude, he's 3 seconds away from Forrest,
it was like he was
which is hilarious because Bubba's in this movie.
felt like he was doing his best worst Morgan Freeman impersonation. You know? It was. What
Here's my question.
Yeah.
Where's Trisha's letter?
do you mean?
If you listen to the narrative, he writes to Trisha.
Yeah. Oh,
Then I think another letter to Trisha. Then all of a sudden, Casey is now writing the letters. I'm like, does she sent a care package? That's what we get from Trisha. Trisha's a care package with coconut snowballs, but there's no letter from Trisha.
I have a theory on this. So when at the beginning, so the first part, let's just call them part one, part two. So in part one, when they're in the bar and the guy's antagonizing him and she's saying, "Hey, I thought you weren't that guy anymore," and he's like, "I'm not," you know, like so it shows that there's this history and that she's got a little bit of broken trust with him.
Right.
And then he goes on and he does this fight. She takes off and he kills him, right? So I think that she has this bit of doubt that, you know, he didn't, because there's no evidence that he had the knife. There's no like she's a dedicated, loving wife, but she's got this doubt that maybe he actually did this, you know, this anger took over. So he's writing these letters to her, and that's what motivates the whole like the self-improvement of like, I have to be better. Like I thought that the being a ranger, doing the military thing, that I thought that was enough, but it wasn't. I lost control, and this is what happens. I need to improve. So he doesn't start getting responses back until Casey is born and old enough to write back, because she wants her to have a relationship with her father. You know, like it's this so she's got this conflict of whether she fully believes him or whether he's changed or not. Because look at the first interaction that she has with, I know I'm jumping on this one, but the first interaction she has with John Cusack when he's talking to her and he's like, she's very short. He's like, yeah, this is what he does. Of course he is. Like she's so convinced that like he's doing some bullheaded, getting in the mix of things, causing trouble when he shouldn't. Like again, breaking her heart. But the whole time, all he's really doing is trying to prove like what a good man he is.
Yeah.
So when she sees him at the end, she has no clue, like really all that he's done, other than the fact that he has survived this plane crash and he has helped take down these criminals with massive explosions going around. Like there's a lot that happens in this movie. There's a lot. Go ahead, Nick.
I do like the detail that he didn't want Casey to see him or like to visit him in jail. Because he never wanted to have her see
with the image.
what that image looked like. And like that has to be hard. Like to never actually physically meet your daughter until like, you have to wait until you're out of prison. Like it's just crazy.
But that to be his choice too, right? Like
yeah.
And that's what's so interesting about Watch. I tried to catch the books and stuff that he was reading, but it was going too fast. I don't read quick enough, and I didn't feel like pausing and stuff. But his self-improvement journey, right? That it's so interesting to like witness that and see how he changed.
Yeah.
All right. I think we're at that point where it's memory of the movie. So
Yeah.
who's got that big memory ready to go?
I'm like,
Let's hear it.
but I don't know how to properly describe it. But I really like what caught my eye was in the part 2 intro, and just the timing of when they wanted to put like the actors' names on screen, and like the moment that we're in the prison cell, then you see Steve Buscemi and you see like all of the con men name, and I just liked how they creatively did that. It's like you're in the cell and like these are the people that are going to be in it with you. You know what I mean? Like it was that just like
Good
really
point.
that really stuck in my mind.
Yeah.
Like I said, I don't know
I
what
didn't even put the 2 and 2 together until you just said that.
yeah, I don't know what to call it. So the words, I like the words.
The intro credits.
The intro credits, yeah. And the timing of it, though. The timing of intro credits, very specific.
Credit placement.
Yes.
It kept it very thematic. Like they had a theme.
Yeah.
How they did the credits. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a hot take. I like it.
Yeah.
I'll go if anyone else, if people are struggling.
I mean, I've got a couple.
Okay. Yeah, me too. I have 3.
Just one that's an easy one is it's where they take the mask off of Buscemi for the the reveal of his face. Like it's so interesting because they set it up to be like this Hannibal Lecter like being, and then it's Steve Buscemi with just like the softest like very little reaction, just eyes. Creepy as hell. Love it.
I mean, I have one, but I was trying to think if there was other ones. For me, it's the first thing that popped into my head was as soon as they're all on the flight, and one of the guys like pulls lighter fluid out of his throat, like
that's Dave Chappelle.
Yeah. Dave Chappelle's character pulls the lighter fluid out and then squirts it on the guy to the left of him, and somehow has a match and like lights him on fire. Like I was shocked. I was absolutely shocked that that's what was going to happen.
Yep.
Yeah. And I'm not surprised, because even before that, when they were doing the mouth check, as soon as the guard was like, open your mouth, and he was like, ooh, you don't want my stinky breath or something like that. He was trying to get him to not look at the string in his mouth. Yeah. Just really clever con man stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So my 3 are number one, How Do I Live? It's just
What?
How Do I Live, the song.
Oh yeah.
Anytime I hear it, I'm like, Con Air. Just anytime. Number 2 is jacked Nick Cage with Fabio style hair. And number 3 is absolutely fucking up Las Vegas. those are my 3 memories of Con Air.
All right. Well, which one's your favorite? Like you got to pick one.
That's tough.
Well, while you're thinking of that, one of my other memories is when Dave Chappelle gets let go from the plane and it's flying down, and the dude right before it all happens is like, oh, damn bird.
Yeah.
Out the clean and all this stuff. Goes, oh, green light. Oh, yeah.
The music, right?
Oh man.
I like that is a classic action movie gag right there. And
I titled that scene, It's Raining Man, Hallelujah.
It's It's raining, man.
I love it.
No, man, not men.
Oh, no, I
Man.
said man. I said man.
Yeah. That one is just it's just fucking wild.
These damn birds.
It's supposed to be good luck.
All right. So nobody seems to be launching off on anything right now, which is fine. There's
Brian didn't pick his favorite of the three.
I'll go How Do I Live?
That really is like a new memory for me that that song is associated with this movie.
Yeah.
It's weird because it's like it has to overpower my childhood memory of just hearing the song on the radio constantly.
Yeah.
But it is a good song. And who else does it? Because what is it? It's like 14-year-old Leanne Rimes.
Mm-hmm. And then I think
Trisha Yearwood?
Who?
Trisha Yearwood?
Her.
Trisha Yearwood? Love her. Okay.
Yeah. That's the other one.
Okay. You know what? And this was the craziest damn thing. And why, like, I think this is why I was so jazzed on Monday. So I watched the movie Sunday night. So listeners out there, those who don't know, I logged on Monday waiting for these guys for about 15 minutes before I reached out and I was like, hey, are we meeting? And then I was quickly reminded that it's Wednesday this week. So I looked like a damn fool, but was very excited to talk about this movie and still am. But the reason I think I got so excited on Monday was when I got into the car, I started up and I get out of the parking garage. The first song to kick up, I'm like, are you fucking serious right now? Like, it was incredible. I'm like, I have not heard this song other than the movie. I had not heard it in years. And it plays now. I'm like, there's no fucking way. All right. Yeah. So I was getting hyped. I was getting excited for Con Air. But
just on the radio or like or
the
like
radio. Like I have Sirius XM and I had it on the radio and I have a couple of country stations, but I don't even think it came on a country station. I think it was probably on like one of like the top 40 things or whatever, like the 90s or whatever hit stations I've got.
Were you listening to 96.5?
No, it's XM that
he has a rich people radio.
Oh, got it. One of those, huh?
Dude, it is. If you have access to XM, please do it.
I have so many stations, I don't even know what to listen to.
They're begging you. They're begging you to get satellite radio. You can get it. You can get it on your phone. They have apps now.
Well, old timer. I have this thing called Bluetooth, and I just stream it to my car. So,
okay.
Well, I
don't need satellite radio.
Joke's on you. I have a CD album. So
I have Spotify.
I have CDs in my car.
Talk to me when you got cassettes, biatch.
I got
Talk to me when you have an 8-track.
Oh man, I would never. Eight tracks feels like such a waste.
I carry my boombox and set it on my dashboard.
There you go. I did that for a hot minute.
Just strap it in a seatbelt.
I keep it safe, bro.
I thought I'm in front. No, my music's in front. You get your ass in the back.
Beats come first, baby. Beats before.
My boombox caught shocking first. You didn't.
Beats before babes. Beats before babes.
Beats before babes. Anyway.
Oh shit. All right. Well, did you want to continue with It's Raining Man, or was there anything else to say?
Oh sure. Dude, we can go all over the place. Let's dive into It's Raining Man because the start of It's Raining Man to me is they're down there and they discover bot.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay. This is like a really intense scene where Cameron knows what's up. And it starts off intense where it's like, okay, I've got an opportunity where I can leave a note. I can give some hints. I can give some clues. And he does, but he's almost caught. And then they see like the whole time Ving Rhames is going through these boxes, right? Like it's not his, so what does he care? But what do they do at the end of this scene after he drops Dave Chappelle's body? They show his box with that sticker. They made a show us right there on top, ready to be picked next. Like this scene actually does a whole lot. It's kind of funny in my opinion. Like, dude's technically a criminal. Let's accept it, right? Like, dude is technically a criminal, and the fact that he's just kind of so on board with the like, well, I've got to drop this body, so I really hope it doesn't kill anybody. But bye. Go ahead, Nick.
I was a little confused by Dave. What was Dave Chappelle's character name?
Oh, hang on. Starts with a B, I think.
Icy or something.
It's not. What is it?
Pinball.
Pinball.
I knew it started with a P. But to see Pinball sort of, laying dead like that. The last time I remember seeing him was him running to get onto the plane. So how did he actually die? Like, did the jet like hit him, or did he have like a lack of oxygen when down there? Like, I really don't understand how he died. And then he's inside of the cargo unit. Like, yeah, I don't know who was first.
I have an answer, but I think Brian might have an answer too.
Okay.
I don't know if it's a justifiable answer, but remember in the top of the show when I said there are a lot of things in this movie that make zero sense at all, and I really don't care because I love every bit of it.
This is one of them.
This is 100% one of them. The last thing we see is him running down the tarmac, and he's clearly taken out by, I think, the wing of the plane, right? Because he's like running. He's like, hey, it's me. And then he gets taken out. The next thing we see is the plane is already off the ground. I have no idea how Pinball makes it to the landing area. I can't even think of one logical explanation as to how that even happened.
Are you sure that the wing took him out? I thought
it looked like it. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it looks like he like climbed up, kind of like underneath the wing. Like he got onto the plane, but then like somehow squeezed his way into that cargo area. But then how did he die there?
It crushed him. I mean, once he got in, he just didn't get in time, and it crushes him.
Oh, maybe.
So that's the death part. But I don't know how he got to the landing gear is what I'm trying to get at.
Yeah.
I think the engine sucked him up.
So I didn't see him getting taken out by the wing. I saw him like tripping. And what really like I think that's also done for the comedic effect because it's Dave Chappelle and he's like having this moment with the guy he set on fire.
Yeah.
But my understanding is like with that tripping and falling, like he's able to get up and he grabs onto the wheel with the hopes of as it goes up, he can get into the cargo hold and sealed away with the wheels. But what ends up happening is he gets stuck. Like you said, he gets stuck, he gets caught. So one, he may not be crushed, but because the cabin can't pressurize down there, he loses oxygen, he freezes. Like there's lots of things that's happening with just the altitude. There's lots of reasons why he's dead. It happens 100%. All the time, unfortunately. And it's the reason that they go down there is they get this alert that they're getting drag. And it's because he's preventing the wheel from coming up. So when they drop him, the wheel seals back up and now they're good to go.
Did you notice how long Swamp Thing took to even mention the fact that they were flying at 205 miles per hour versus what they should have been flying at?
Where were they supposed to be flying at?
Like 280 or something. I forgot what it was, but It's like a solid 25 minutes before he even bothers to say anything.
To reach altitude, you know, he probably thought like it will be okay once we reach altitude.
It's like maybe they won't ask. The one other thing I'll say about this scene, I love so much that they did not give two shits about trying to hide the fake Chappelle. That was that was stuck in the cargo. That thing looked like a crash dummy. It's
Like a
amazing.
wax figure.
It's like you guys aren't even trying, and I love it.
Meanwhile, Dave Chappelle is like standing behind the camera, like looking at it.
Yeah. It's like, oh man, that is I mean, that's a body. That's not Chappelle, but it's a body.
It reminded me of like, I think it was Scary Movie 3 when you see Brenda. She's like,
Yeah.
like it was very like Scary Movie 3 parody, like death position.
It was I bet you anything Chappelle probably made that prop, to be honest. He's like, guys, I got an idea.
Yeah.
It's definitely one of those it's so bad it's good things.
Yeah. And the only other thing that I have on this one is after his body has fallen on the car. Can anyone explain to me how there's so many high-speed cars coming at every angle?
There always is.
It's just like, I'm just like,
So
you guys were just at a dead stop. Where is the NASCAR race coming from?
I think this panic.
There's a dead body. Go!
I have two words.
Go ahead, Matt.
California drivers.
Nice.
Dude, East Coast drivers are the worst. They're
Who?
worse than California drivers. East Coast.
You know what? I claim a state. Don't say East Coast because
Connecticut.
I haven't driven in Connecticut, so I don't have any words to say about those folks.
They're fucking wild.
You know what? I believe I know somebody from Connecticut, and based off of their driving, I can agree to that.
Yeah.
And-
I got yelled at.
You got yelled at. I'm sure you did.
By like a road rager. I literally didn't do anything wrong. And they yelled at me.
That's exactly what you did wrong. Nothing.
In Florida, they had major billboards saying, like, reminding people to pull over when you hear an ambulance. And I was like, oh, that's,
Remind people to do that.
yeah, because
A
nobody,
law.
nobody, I kid you not, you got like not a single person. I thought I was doing something wrong because I'd hear an ambulance, like, went off to the right and stopped. I was like, nobody, I was like, we're supposed to do this, right? I was like, I'm literally like the only one. Cars are honking at me. I'm like, the wee-woo is. I'm very confused.
You got to stick to your guns on that.
You would be surprised how many people do not get out of our way.
God, it blows my mind.
Yeah, it's not their emergency. They don't care.
By the way, to answer your question, I think all those cars coming in, it's just purely for comedic effect.
Oh, 100%.
This
They're coming in at like angles that aren't even part of the road. It looked like
one came out of like a front door.
like someone came
Sierra,
through a
yeah.
building or something.
Yeah.
All right. Who wants to talk about Welcome to the Team, Garland Green?
Oh, is that Steve Buscemi? Yeah.
That was like my first memory.
Yeah, exactly. So this is something that I definitely took note of. Number one, the Hannibal Lecter style intro. I'm sorry, it works every time. When you've got them like full on just decked out and they've got that tool that goes into something and twists and everything.
It is so insane.
Dude, it works. They're not the first people to do it. They've done. There's another movie that it was on. Damn, I'm seeing it too. It's all black. They've got it. They do the twists and then they make them stand up.
shit. I mean,
I see it in my head. I'm question is it is a
Yeah.
TV show or a movie at this point. I couldn't tell you.
I mean, I know it's been done multiple times too. Like it is.
Oh, you know what? They have done it in the new guy.
Did they?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, that's how they bring him out into the high
That's how they bring him out in the new high school. See,
Oh my
it works.
God.
It totally works. It just,
Was-
I don't know. There's something about it. It just works. But also the weird thing though,
Hilarious.
think of what Con Air is. It is an airplane that has the worst of the worst, all the basically worst of the United States, all on this one plane. But when Garland Green comes out, even the cons are like, fuck. There's something so eerie when you see the worst of the worst afraid of something.
Yeah.
You're just like, whoa, what are we getting? And I felt like the movie did such a great job of like hyping up just how diabolical and psychotic this person is by showing, I mean, freaking Cyrus the virus is like, who's this? It's like, that's Garland Green. He's like, well, this should be interesting. Even Cyrus was like borderline, what do I do with this? And I just love the way that they handled it. Really good stuff. I have more on Garland Green, more of a nitpicky, but we'll talk about that later. Go ahead, Matt.
You brought up a couple of things I just wanted to talk about. And so one with Cyrus, like I love this kind of like respect of like this guy is like he doesn't necessarily look up to him because Cyrus is an egomaniac. But like he respects him as like yeah, you're a really good killer. I respect you. So like you said, what do I do with them? And his solution essentially is like, let him out. Like just let him do whatever the hell he wants. Like I'm not gonna tell him what to do.
Yeah.
Like who am I to tell that guy what to do? Like, no, just let him out, let him do whatever the fuck he wants. And it scares the hell out of everybody else. And that's the thing I love, like you said, is that little detail. That was Ving Rhames when he's letting him like, take some mask off. I mean, like, this is a big dude.
Yeah.
Big scary man, and rightfully so. And he's like trembling. He's shaking as he's taking this mask off. Steve Buscemi. Like I'm not saying he can't be a terrifying person, but like he's not threatening in this moment. Like there's literally nothing that he's doing that should be scary. But because of his reputation, this hard criminal who not sorry about shit is trembling. Like, I love it. I love this. And it's why I'm so interested in Buscemi's character throughout this whole movie and why I wish they did more. Another reason they should do a Con Air 2.
Say what you just said. Because that's what I want to talk about.
Go ahead, Nick.
Yeah, I agree with you guys. Like his intro is super terrifying and menacing. But at the same time, like I was kind of disappointed that Matt, you kind of already said it. He didn't have really that much of a prominent role. Like he was just kind of there just to kind of exist and be part of like a conversation about his reputation. Like we get a couple of, eerie, fucked up, one-liners from him. And like that's totally justifiable, like for his type of character. But it's like they just kind of built him up and then he was just kind of there. And that was it. I wish we had gotten more of like him playing an active role in this whole Con Air team. Like he's like, all right, guys, like, but maybe not saying like, all right, guys, what do you want me to do? Like not like that, but it's just kind of like he does his own.
Put me in, coach.
But like somehow incorporates it into the whole plan. Yeah, go ahead, Brian.
No, I mean this is the discussion I wanted to have. Is you do such a amazing job of building up the almost like a entity is amongst us. Like it's like not even human at this point, right? And you you tease me, but you do nothing with it except for a really weird scene that, quite frankly, I feel is completely off the movie and can be erased entirely. None of it makes sense, and we could talk about that part later. But um, I just, with as crazy as you made him seem, he actually seemed to be rather intelligent and not, I mean, once he was removed from all of his gear, he actually wasn't scary at all. He was just a strange dude in a white suit, just sitting and observing, and every once in a while saying something. When I'm like, I feel like we missed the mark here. Like we needed to incorporate him somehow. I don't know how it would have been, but it needed to be something. Go ahead, John.
Oh, I get what you guys are saying, but I like that they kept it how they did it, because a psychopath like that is not going to be a team player. He is in his own little world,
That's true.
and he's done some stuff. Now maybe he's calmed down a bit since being locked up. Maybe he's not as crazy, but he's definitely not going to be a team player. And so the fact that they isolated him and just made him say these, I don't know what the sayings were, but like just him spinning off that information.
He drove around with the girl's head on his head for a hat for 3 days.
Yeah, and he says it with zero emotion.
None.
Like,
just dead eyes.
He's past team playing, guys. Like, he just let him, just like Cyrus said, you just let him do his thing, because he is so out there, and that's what makes his character so terrifying.
Yeah,
because you really, the whole time, like, you're wondering, what is this crazy gonna do?
oh, that's actually a good point.
Like, what is he gonna do? There's never a time where you're like, oh, I feel safe with this guy.
Yeah, you're constantly in the dark with him.
You're constantly in the dark with him. And I think they did a really good job. I think it matches his character very, very well.
I mean, if I can feed off of that and also change scene a little bit,
No.
I'm gonna try anyway, Jen. They do a great job, like you said, of like he's kind of this ticking time bomb of like he's been described over and over and over again as like the worst of the worst, and we've got the worst of the worst. He is the baddest of the bad. He's top dog. And they just let him go. They just let him go. And everything that he does, like when he's on the plane, like he's just kind of like, yeah, I'm a presence here. And it's an eerie presence.
Mm-hmm.
Like this, it's like this angel of death lurking about, just saying.
You notice no one sits around him?
Yeah.
Well, and he's in all white, which is just so, it's like.
Yeah. So just this lurking guy about.
Yeah.
When they finally land, this is the scene I actually wanted to switch to, is like, he has that whole moment with that little girl that is intense. It's like, it's this buildup. It's like, oh shit, what is he gonna do? What's he gonna do to this little girl? Like, in the way that they film it, because it's completely taking place away from everything else before things like, and it's terrifying what he may do. And then by the end of all of this, you get the resolution that she is still alive, and it's like, oh shit, he didn't do anything. And then it's like, now why didn't he do anything? Like, like you're like, what's he gonna do? Like it's just like, okay, that wasn't the big moment. What's it's just the fake outs. Like it keeps getting worse of what might this guy do. He got back on that plane. Why? Like, this is a scary dude who does things like, All right, I think it was Brian. Jen?
I just want to be the first to say it. what the heck was that little girl doing in the empty pool, like in that area? Like, why would you choose to play there?
I have a lot of questions about that whole scene in its entire, like that location, but
The location, like when I'm watching it, every time I watch this movie, I'm like, why?
Okay.
Why are you playing here with your
Let's
little
just
set?
let's just do the discussion now because you guys are basically all over so many things that I had notes on. So here's my first opinion on this scene can easily be removed from the movie and it doesn't change it one bit. I think it's extra. I've always thought that this movie runs a little too long. If I were to trim some fat, all of the little girl scene would be gone because it just, yes, it gives that eerie, like what Matt was saying, like the what's going to happen feeling and all that stuff and all the questions. But other than that, you can pull that elsewhere, whether it's an altercation with an inmate or whatever, what have you. So, but there's just so many things about the scene that just seem so off place. First of all, you're supposed to be landing in the middle of a desert. You show them that he's walking and there's like a fence, and behind and all around is just desert for miles and miles of desert. And then you're just telling me that this random trailer park is just like hanging out here in the middle. I don't know what the girl is. She's like in an empty pool with a freaking table and tea set, talking to what looked to be a dead doll. The thing was like burnt to crisp. I have also other questions on like the parenting. Where are the parents? 0 to 10. I kind of want a number on. There's just a lot going on this that I'm just.
It makes me
rough.
wonder if it was a hallucination or a memory of his.
Oh shit!
Like more like a ghost.
Oh, Jen,
Weird.
turning pages on this one. I didn't even think of this. Like he's hallucinating the entire thing.
Or like it's a memory.
Like the one that got away.
No, maybe like his first or something.
Or the one that got away where he was going to do it, but he was afraid to do it.
I don't know.
Oh, this is dark, but I really like it. Oof. Now I'm all thinking. Go ahead, Nick.
I mean,
I mean, that's
kind of
a
just like
game
two
changer.
things for my input on this scene. Well, the first thing is what happened to the girl? Like you said that Garland gets back onto the plane.
Mhm.
But what happens to the girl? Like we
He
see,
waved it goodbye.
is she?
Yeah.
Oh, I must have missed that. Because they have the last shot where like the tea set table is empty and there's like an item that's like shaking on the table. I thought maybe he like quickly snatched her, right? Like made a ruckus on the table and like it's the I don't know, the aftershock or whatever of the stuff moving on the table and that he took her somewhere. But I didn't realize he got back on the plane and that she was waving. Okay. That explains that. But the other thing is I'm not obviously like in real life I don't advocate for what I'm about to say, but in terms of like his character in the movie, like I would have liked a little something where he essentially kidnaps her and sneaks her onto the plane, like into the cargo landing or something, or the gear landing, or like straps her to a seat or something, like really intensify his character, like really make like put the words to the action. Like if he is really this kind of a person, like show it, don't just talk about it. Like show me some actions that he would do, not just sitting and talking with the weird girl. Like that's really downplaying like the criminal acts that you've done. I wanted more. I wanted him to do more, even if it didn't directly have impact on the Con Air flight and the guys on that. Like he could just be doing his own thing, and the guys just are like, "Oh my god, it is true. He really does do this. Like, we don't want to fuck with him. You know, like just give me a little bit more. That's all I'm asking." Go ahead, Matt.
Well, one, I agree with you. I love his character. I wish that they would do more or they did more with him. But what I love that they did with him is that they've made him such a mystery that they keep you they leave this kind of conversation open for us where it's why didn't he do why didn't he kill this girl? Why didn't he kidnap her? Why didn't he do something? Is she a memory? Like he walks away with a toy. Is it because he spotted this toy and it triggered this memory and that's why he takes it with him? Like nobody else interacts with this little girl. So just as a character, I love that they've built him up to be the worst person ever and then show him doing nothing wrong. But also they show that like he admits that he did things and he shows no remorse for it. So it's like he admits that everything that they put him away for, he did. We just don't see that side of him. And I think that's one supposed to be the terrifying part of the fact that by the end of this movie, he's the only one that's still free. And that's what I really interested in about. But this whole town, this little trailer park bit, what's so interesting to me about it is we've got this little girl. Let's assume that she is a real life person. She's not a memory or something. There was a guy who was murdered in the watchtower who knows the other pilot. It is probably safe to assume that would be that little girl's father, who has been dead for some time because other criminals' buddies have murdered him, claimed the tower, and parked their plane and all that good stuff. So there's that going on. And then there's this random old man who's been hiding under this truck for however long. So there are people here. Why? How? Are they all related? What are you doing here? Go ahead, Brian.
Well, I'm just going to answer one of my head scratchers on the 0 to 10 parenting. So if 0 is Frank Gallagher and 10 is Mr. Matthews, I'm giving this little girl's parents a 0. Big time. There's just, you're letting her play alone with dead things all around you, and clearly you haven't even taught her not to speak to strangers. So I don't know what we're doing here.
Let's not even get into the hygiene of it all. That little girl was.
Oh, yeah. I'm surprised they gave her clothes at this point.
That's why I think she was a ghost.
But yeah, I don't have an answer for you, Matt, as to what these people are doing in this middle of the desert. I just don't know what's going on here. Like how busy are you? Like, why do you even?
Why are you living out there? Like, I mean, I don't know.
He's straight up calling him by the tower by their first name. Like,
yeah.
Ugh.
See, and then maybe there's another question. Maybe that pilot that was trying to land was actually that little girl's father and was trying to get to her.
I don't know.
There's so many questions. So many questions. What's that about? What's that about?
Do we want to take a break
Already?
Is it? How long have we been doing it?
Not very long.
Oh, all right.
You tired? I mean, we can take a break.
No, I'm not tired. I just thought we were at the hour mark.
Maybe. That's up to you. I don't know. Let's do one more scene.
Sure.
I have a scene.
Yeah.
I'll call it "Don't Open This."
Oh. This was a fun one.
Yeah. I have one of my biggest problems with this movie is the just the security in general. Like on the security on the plane, the security like on the ground, like just all the security people in this movie are just really not that good at their jobs. um, and like some of it on the plane, like I can kind of understand, but a lot of the stuff that's happening on the ground, like it just people just seem incompetent. You know, this guy, the security officer or whatever, he is told not to touch anything in the room. Like he's a child and the parent just told him not to touch anything.
Yeah.
Immediately picks up something that says do not open.
Yeah.
For one thing, he's already touching something that he was told not to touch. And then the box has to tell him not to open it, and he still opens it. And like
This guy would totally push the red button.
Oh my god,
oh,
you freaking idiot!
Yeah, I don't know what he's thinking there.
it wasn't even like a funny comedic moment. It was more of like a face palm of like what are you doing here? You know?
Yeah. It was more of like a here's your
ridiculous
sign.
explosion. It's just like it's just so bad. Like
Yeah.
the door like flies off and like I don't know. I don't know. I
Yeah.
don't know what to do.
Shrapnel's everywhere.
Yeah. Yeah. Go ahead, Matt.
So I did think this was funny because this was like the start of John Cusack being blown all over the place. Like
Yeah.
that dude got in like bam, bam, bam. Dude is getting thrown left and right by
Yeah, dude was getting rocked.
felt so bad for him. But you know what? He got back up every time. Like, good for him. Dude can take a knocking. But yeah, this is one of those things that I hate it. Like it's used all the time, and like I don't know if there's a substitute for it. But it always drives me nuts when somebody's like, "Hey, don't do this," and then they walk away, and they're like, "Well, I'm immediately doing that because you said don't do it." And it's like, boom. It's like, oh, I was not surprised that blew up in your face, literally.
Yeah.
So it's like I get it, but because the point is really to show like Cyrus is this brilliant that he's thought so far ahead that he's like, yeah, you're gonna discover my plans, but guess what? Boom, booby trap, gotcha. Like, but John Cusack's character knows him well enough to be like, this is suspicious. This is a problem. Like, we need to approach this carefully. Don't touch anything. I'm gonna get like. But that explosion is fun. It's fake as hell, but it's fun. I liked it. I forgot about this part, so I was surprised by this because it's kind of like the first explosion, isn't it?
I think so.
Because I don't. That's what like really kicks off like the cons have the plane because
Yeah, I think it is.
those are the plans.
Yeah.
Wait,
Did anyone notice how long, or did anyone notice like how long Cusack's, I forgot his character's name, was going through the notes, and it was like plane after plane after plane. I'm like, you're not going to alert anybody. We're just going to keep studying these. Like, this isn't a groundbreaker. Like, you know what this is. Like, how have we not alarmed anyone what's going on?
A bunch
Maybe if I look at the
plane?
plane drawing, I might crack this case.
Well, and how quick is he to pull out the cell phone later in the movie?
Yeah.
Where was that as you're inside this guy's room? Like, where do you need to go? Get your cell phone out.
That's what I'm
You know what? Hot take, fan theory. I think John Cusack was in on it.
okay. Get out of here.
He walks away. He walks away, and he stops in that hallway to let them explode.
No.
He knew.
Nope. We're not doing that.
Mm.
Prove me wrong. Prove me wrong. But there's this loving moment with Cameron at the end of the movie. You can't make him a bad guy. They're on motorcycles. It's cool. No, he's a bad man. John Cusack is a bad man.
Get out of here. I've got another quick scene if you guys want to do that.
Yeah, go for it.
Celebricons get off the bus.
Celebricons get.
It's like celebrity cons type thing.
Yeah, it's a tough one. I get what you're saying. Though.
Yeah, it was hard.
That's a toughie, but
Yeah. But basically I wrote this because the way that they introduced the characters of the movie were just it's so good. It literally was like, we told you this is gonna be the worst of the worst. Let's meet them, and it's just like one at a time, and you get the profile, you get the background history. Like, oh, they're crushing the shit out of that. Like, it was really good. And then I love how like Poe comes out, and they're like, who's the guy with the hair? And he's like, that's a nobody. That nobody is gonna be the one that saves your ass throughout the next 2 hours, but okay.
Classic. I have an alternate title.
Hmm?
I have an alternate title.
Oh, please.
It's bad. It's like I think it's just as bad, but like I have to pitch it because I thought of it, and I'm like, let's see. Roll out the red carpet.
Oh, yep. I like it. That's better than mine.
Okay.
I do like it too, yeah.
It's better than mine. I'll take it.
This is still a stretch.
Oh, it's good. I like it. I like it.
Okay, cool. Right at the
Did you say con pit or con pret?
con pit. Like not carpet, but con pit.
Con pit. Okay.
Yeah.
I like it. Roll out the red con pit. Yep. That works.
All right. Nailed it, guys. Woo.
Anyway, but I mean, those are just the notes that I had on that. I just really like the way that they introduced the characters and just especially in what was it? John Malkovich is just his look and how he basically physically acted coming off the bus. I'm like, that's a really bad guy.
And the first time that they even say Cyrus the Virus, I was like, oh shit.
I know, what a great name. Just everything. They crushed it.
Yeah. I love it when they do this with cons, like it's the nicknames, what they did, like the rap shit.
Yeah.
It's fun. I really like it, and they did a great job with this one.
They did the same thing in Suicide Squad, right?
I was literally just about to say that.
Okay, yeah, just like heavier graphics and things.
I mean, pretty much.
Yeah.
Because they're all bad guys, you know.
So Suicide Squad took it. Cool.
I think it's been redone multiple.
Oh, it's been but again, it works every time. Just keep doing it.
I started watching the Scott Pilgrim anime. And it got me thinking, because they do the same thing in that like Scott Pilgrim versus the World, same thing where they pop up like, here's the stats, here's the like, they just make it feel like a video game rather than like military.
Didn't the same thing happen in Gotti with John Travolta? Didn't they like introduce?
I think they did.
Some of like the mob family,
Kinda, but I think it was more freeze frame. But they did do it in Jumanji. But I mean, it's an actual game, so I don't know if that's cheating a little bit.
Yeah.
Freaking Kevin Hart, I'm allergic to cake.
Strength is my weakness.
Strength is my weakness.
That is still probably one of the best lines.
Strength is my weakness.
Oh, what you got, John?
I'm sorry to do this, guys, but I gotta cut out because I have to wake up at 2:30 in the morning. So,
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
Oh, me too. But
you gotta catch that meeting, or
no, I'm gonna count the blueberries.
I was gonna say, make sure you get the blueberries.
No, I enjoy slow mornings, so I just kind of like leisurely get out of bed. But is it okay if I do my final thoughts and who won it? Yeah, sorry to cut out. I was enjoying this, but I know I will kick myself tomorrow if I don't go to bed. So Con here, it's a good movie. I really enjoyed it. It won't be the last time that I see this movie. And I look forward to hearing the rest of the podcast. So make sure you put it on the YouTubes, okay? And who wins it? I'm gonna have to give it to like the same thing as like the memory of the movie. There's just something so creative about that I really liked. I don't know whoever made that happen. Editors, maybe? I don't know.
Yeah.
You guys decide. Leave it in the comments what wins the movie for me. With that
The intro credits. Yeah.
intro credit.
Yeah.
All right. I have a scene.
Yes. Let's
I
get
have
into it.
named it Conless Cages.
Conless cages.
It's pretty simple.
Is this when the cages open up in the plane?
Exactly. It's the takeover of the plane.
Yeah.
So in my movie expertise experience with not only action movies but prison movies, the one thing that you got to get right is the takeover of fill in the blank. The inmates take over the jail. How do they do it? The inmates take over the plane. How do they do it? It can't be unrealistic because it ruins, to me, it just ruins it all to where I'm like, okay, no one really thought this through. I think they did a really great job on this one. Nothing seemed like, no, that's not right, or no, there's no way they can get, they'd be overpowered if they did that. Just all of it. You could tell that Cyrus the Virus has been, burning the midnight oil for quite some time, trying to get this plan perfected, and it was to a T, to where it's like Pinball knew exactly when he was going to cough up his thing, when to light the man on fire, and then the next person knew exactly what to do when that person was on fire, and because basically just create a distraction to cause chaos, pretty much, right? And everything was just very well orchestrated, and it was incredibly real. It just seemed incredibly real, almost to the point where Cyrus knew eventually the pilot was going to come out with the gun, and he was ready and waiting for him at the door. He's like, pilot's coming out, I'll disarm the pilot, I have the gun, the only gun on Con Air, and that's it. That's the win. And I just thought I was like, wow, it's a brilliant Con Air takeover. Go ahead, Nick.
I have a couple things, maybe even three things.
Sure.
First, I'll just start by saying that, in my opinion, I think the takeover started too quickly. I kind of wish that there was a little bit of buildup, like as soon as the plane took off.
Okay.
That there was a little bit of like some dialogue exchanges, like some hesitancy, some whispering. I don't know, just some kind of a buildup to the chaos unfolding, because it just seemed too quickly. Because I was like ready for the buildup of it to happen. But then they just like, bam, give it to us in the beginning. I just felt like it was a little too quick.
I mean, I don't know. The officer had time to talk, do his spiel about not having his nose hairs offended and all that. He also had time to give the virus some sarcasm about how he's never gonna have sex on the beach or eat steak ever again.
Is this after they're up in the air?
It's probably during takeoff at the very least.
Yeah, see, I would have liked it if they had gone, up in the air and like, got to the highest points and then kind of started to do stuff, not like immediately after takeoff.
What are you waiting for the pilot to turn on you can unbutton your seatbelt lights?
Yeah, I'm waiting for the pilot to turn off the seatbelt signs so we can use the bathroom. I mean, kind of, like, seriously, like I feel like that would have been a good enough time before. What I'm saying is before the chaos actually erupts.
Right.
I'm saying like between takeoff and up to that point,
right,
you have some buildup from like the con people on the flight.
Matt's been patient.
Did you have a response to that?
I have a pitch.
Okay.
So I agree with you where it does feel like they take over very quickly. And I think it's why I don't like them. Like, okay, we took over the plane. Now let's land it and let's not do anything other than get rid of the transponder or whatever the thing is. Right. I don't like it. It doesn't feel good. It doesn't feel, it's weird. And like, okay, and we're up. Yeah. And then we're going to stop again. And we're going to like, okay, but why? Like, there's no rhyme or reason for anything. However, here's the pitch. That first flight, takeoff to landing, it goes off, no problems with the guards, right? Like maybe there's some kerfuffles or whatever, but like for the most part, it's a pretty seamless takeoff landing because they need the rest of those bad guys on before like they actually take over, right?
Oh, you're talking Carson City.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So they take off. So during this takeoff, this is what you're asking for, Nick, right? Where you want some more like time with these guys where this is where they can plant little seeds and things, right? Like, okay, he coughs up the thing. All right, now he's got this ready. That's something that holds off. We don't activate it yet. And the reason we can drag this out is the whole reason that douchebag is there with the second gun is to see if he can get information from somebody. Let his job begin.
The DEA guy?
What was it?
The DEA?
Yeah, the DEA agent.
DEA guy who he sneaks the second gun onto and immediately like pulls it and gets killed. Right? Wasted character.
Can we
the whole point
take a what?
I'm just saying, you expand on his character, you take him away from being a useless. He pulls his gun immediately after getting freed from his chains and then gets killed. And now there's a second gun. Yay. You expand on his character. You expand on the breakout. Let him actually do his job. And while it's happening, things around, the guys are causing chaos that's making it where now he's starting to lose his cover. Like, right? Like it's starting to get kind of found out that this dude's a cop in disguise. Now you've got Pinball who's like, oh, this dude's undercover. Now we're planting seeds. He causes chaos. Now there's fires and shit. Like, boom. We've got everybody. They land in Carson. I'm sorry. They land in Carson City after all of this chaos, like and stuff is going on. And they take off. They've got all the convicts. He sets the guy on fire. And now they break out and they take over the guards with all of the bad guys. And now they can change flights. They can go to the second location and do whatever. The only thing that it stops, or at least that would have to happen while they're in Carson City, is somebody gets rid of, the pilot or the transponder. They have to deactivate this like somehow. But if dude can rig a bomb for his room to go off of like don't open, boom, he's got chemicals and he's made a bomb. If he can do that, I'm pretty sure that there's a way they could figure out for him to deactivate the whatever the thing is that's tracking them.
Transponder.
Is it a transponder? It feels fake. Like that feels like such a fake name.
Ooh, true transponder.
And that's exactly why. That's exactly why. Like it feels fake. But go ahead, Brian.
All right, so a couple really a couple things. I am with you on the transponder. It does definitely seem a little on the fake name sounding. You guys went with that. I went with more of dude, where's my car? And now I'm blanking on what they needed to find. But it's
continuum transfunctioner.
Yes. So that I was like transponder, continuum function. Yeah, that sounds pretty cool.
Continuum transfunctioner whose mystery is only matched by its power.
That's what it was. Yes. Anyway, I like. Hold on. I like your idea of letting them smooth sail up until Carson City and then things go crazy. That I think I like that better than what we actually got, because you're right. It does kind of it to me. It seems like it would almost give a chance for the to let the security, or the security guards let their guards down as time is going on. They're like, we've got everyone locked down in an order. We've got the gun in the pilot, with the co-pilots and everything. We're good there. We're smooth sailing, cool, great takeoff, great landing. So they're already feeling like they need to be less, less on edge, right? So I think that is a very interesting point. But I am glad that you mentioned, because that's the big thing. Somehow, some way, the transponder has to go. Otherwise, if they get back up in the air, they're easily tracked down, and it's basically fish in a barrel at that point, right? So, yeah. And then one other thing. Oh, I wanted to talk about the DEA agent. My head scratcher that I wrote was, what was the DEA agent thinking? Like, did he honestly, you were in a plane full of just diabolical humans. You honestly think DEA is going to be your saving grace? Like, what is happening right now? Although I do love Chappelle's response to DEA. Do you know what that means? And he's like, yeah, you're the crookedest person on this plane. that was improv by him, but I couldn't believe that his thing was to grab Pinball, hold him at gunpoint, and think that this is his way to, everyone on this plane is going to listen to me right now as I announce the fact that I am DEA. Stupid move. I don't know who it was.
It was me. So yeah, I felt like they could have just kind of going off of Matt's point before I say the next thing, is that they should have just kind of let the characters breathe a little bit. Just let them kind of settle, and then that's when you then catch them off guard.
Yeah.
But the other thing is, when you have a vessel, a plane, something that's very high tech, there's a lot of moving parts, things can go wrong. You really have to think a lot about the whole situation. And I just felt like the guards that were and even the DEA, the good guys that were selected to be on this flight to essentially guard the conmen, I feel like they could have chosen bigger, beefier, stronger, more Secret Service type of,
the longest yard guards.
What?
Like the longest yard guards with Adam Sandler.
Oh yeah.
That's
Those are some big boys,
being beefy dudes that you don't want to fuck with,
right?
The damn Gatorade.
The government should have had the best of the best. If you're transporting the worst of the worst,
right?
And they just look like they had average looking guards on there.
Yeah. No, you'd want a defensive lineman, size guards. I agree.
And even with more, wearing body armor,
yeah,
or even, I don't know what kind of headwear they wear, but at least a body armor that covers, your heart and your chest and everything, because you never know. You never know.
It would have been great to have The Rock and Terry Crews in it, but as the security guards, not as prisoners.
Yeah, essentially, you got to think about every single situation. It's not odd to think that con men are going to try to get out of their seats and their chains and everything. You got to be a couple steps ahead of them every time.
Yeah,
I just feel like they I don't know. The whole security in general was very lackluster in this movie.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Matt.
Well, one, I just want to be clear that there's a difference between con men and convicts.
Mm.
Oh, did I say con men?
Well, it's yes, but
Okay.
I know what I get what you're saying. It's just like for clarity's sake, I have to say something.
Thank you. I
Yeah,
didn't.
because it's confidence men, not convict men.
Yeah.
But yes, um, yeah, I don't know. It's been this is almost 2 hours of a movie, and they I don't know. I think it's clear that they wrote this like day of, right? Like there's clear signs of it. It's a lot of fun, but you can tell that it's very disjointed. And then they're like, oh shit, well, yeah, we filmed this, so we got to do that. Like, oh, well, we said we are doing this. Is like, well, yeah, well, we got to do that. Like,
It goes back to the daily written scripts.
yeah, and I want to see they were like 3 weeks late or something. Like they ran 3 weeks over on filming or something. Because it kind of screwed over Nick on what was the other movie he did after this? It was
Face Off.
Face Off. Yeah. Yeah, I think it was for filming Face Off. Like that was he was supposed to finish this movie and then immediately do Face Off. But this one ran like 3 weeks late or something, so it caused issues. But yeah, they could have written a much better story where these characters are actually developed.
Yeah.
I read something on IMDb where like Nick Cage chose the whole Alabama thing. Like he chose this accent, he chose Alabama, and this whole chivalry part, like this whole chivalry thing, to be like a big part of his character. It's more subtle because it's not really brought up, but it makes sense when you put it into context of like why it's so important that he defend his wife's honor, why it's so important that he stay on this plane to protect this female guard who has been threatened with rape. Like it makes sense for his character, and there's easy ways to kind of address that, but they don't even do that. You know, they they could have dove into these characters a lot more and made them a lot less one dimensional.
Mhm.
And like you said, especially since like was it Ving Rhames, his character, we get nothing from him.
Diamond Dog.
Diamond Dog, we get nothing from him.
Mhm.
Like there's no development. It's just like, yeah, I'm just a bad guy. I'm ready to kill people.
Yeah.
That's it. It's like, but you have aspirations that's been made clear. Like there's something that you want to do. Like you want to tell us any of that? Nope. Just want to kill people. Like give us something, because I don't remember his death, and it should have been more important.
Motorcycle to the.
Same.
Motorcycle?
Yeah. He had a motorcycle launched right at him.
Oh, that's right. Because he
was on the back of
he
the
jumps
fire
off
truck.
of it, and it somehow goes faster when he gets off of it.
No, he was on the back of the fire truck.
Yeah, he jumps onto the.
Yeah, he flicks the throttle.
Yeah,
and then jumps onto the ladder, and then and the motorcycle takes right off into Diamond Dog's.
It explodes, right? Yeah. Yes. Like see, like we get nothing from this guy, and he's supposed to be third baddest of them all, right? I don't know. It's big bummers all around on certain things, especially when there's so much good character here. There's a lot to work with, and they did such little with it.
Yep. That's why I didn't give it as high as I felt like it could have, you know?
I think that's why I was as critical as I was. Is like there's so many good bones here, and it's like either you didn't realize it, or you just don't have the talent. It's there. It's like there's so much to work with. Go ahead, Nick.
I have a positive.
Yeah, let's talk about some good things for a change.
I loved, and a lot of this is in like the camera work, but also just in the writing as well. But when Cyrus the Virus is like up on, the ledge, and he's like, "Welcome to Con Air," like that kind of moment, and like you see the camera do this like dolly shot like towards him. It's very like theatrical and very dramatic, and it's so good. It's only like 3 seconds, but it's very well done.
I did the classic Peter Griffin, like, oh, he said it every time. Like every time this happens in a movie,
Yeah.
it was a good drop. Good.
Okay.
I mean, you guys know how much I love a title drop.
But like a verbal one, not just like a text.
Exactly. When they actually say the name of the movie in the movie, I can't. It's like that montages, like you those are like my can't. Oh, and then like diner scenes where they're sitting around, like things like those are like just my top 3 favorites of movies. It just doesn't get better than this. I wrote down the quote: "Ladies and gentlemen, this is your captain speaking. I have the only gun on board. Welcome to Con Air." That is brilliance. And exactly what you're saying, Nick, the way Malkovich delivers that line is it's perfection. It is absolutely perfection. And also the way that it's filmed, and yeah, that is such a cool moment of the movie.
Even like the low angle of the camera,
Right.
looking
Yeah,
up.
low to high. Yes. Yeah.
Love it.
Yep.
See, there were some really good like camera moments and things. And honestly, I think it's when the car is flying behind the plane.
Dude, I was laughing so hard at that.
So ridiculous. Like I love that this is just another moment to be like, fuck this guy. So okay, quickly to trail back to the DEA guy. That's what I wanted to say something on. At the DEA in general, from start to finish, always makes the wrong decision. Like if you every choice that the DEA makes in this movie is the wrong one, right up until I think it's like, don't shoot the plane down. That is the first right thing he does.
Oh, you're talking about
I'm talking, but
Duncan Malloy.
Him in particular, because the other DEA guy dies so quickly. But what's the one choice he makes?
What?
What's the one choice he makes?
Who?
The DEA guy that gets killed immediately.
He chooses to take a hostage.
He makes a bad choice.
Yeah.
That's my point. Is like the DEA, this entire movie makes bad choices. And that guy is the fucking worst. And
he's so annoying.
In this car flying behind is just like the final punishment for him.
Yeah.
Where it's like, okay, I have nothing left to lose. And he starts making good choices. But the CGI, like, it's not great, but it's not so bad that it like really bothers me. I see Nick's hand just flew up, so I don't know if that was towards the CGI comment, but
well, I had it up earlier because you brought it up with the car. This was just my thing. This is what I would imagine when Harry and Ron are going to Hogwarts in their car when it's flying. This is how I imagine that car is flying. It's just like an invisible plane that's pulling it, because that's what it reminded me of. And the car looks very similar. I think it was in Chamber of Secrets in the second one. Just like the car going,
yeah,
like.
Which I never understood. I'm like, he's driving like this. Why is it like somehow?
Yeah. I was like, oh, that's how they filmed that scene in Harry Potter.
They just used Wonder Woman's plane.
Yeah, they used a green plane that they green screened out.
So Matt, you brought up Duncan Malloy. Oh man. This is just the type of character that it's designed to get on your nerves, and he does a great job with it, with the role. But this dude is so freaking annoying. It's like, if it's not his idea, it's a bad idea. And he will go, he'll like counter to where he's like, oh, wait, okay, when I'm in the wrong, now I need to find a way to where I'm not in the wrong anymore by just switching beliefs and roles and everything. I'm like, dude, you're such a douchebag. Like, you deserve so much more than your car being hooked to an airplane. Like, Oh man. And then just like the total flip that he has at the very end, I'm like, oh, who is this guy? Because you have been nothing but just dragging ass the whole time, making the dumbest decisions possible where damn it, I can't remember Cusack's character's name, but he's been on top of it every step of the way. He's basically right on the heels of Malkovich's plan or Cyrus's plan, and he's trying to inform everyone and trying to do the right thing. And this guy is just shitting on every single idea he has. He's like, "What?
Larkin, Vince Larkin.
Thank you, Larkin. That's Cusack. Yes." So Larkin's giving all these basically golden gems, like just follow the yellow brick road. And Malloy's like, no, we're good. We're doing this. I'm doing this. Oh, it's a scenic tour plane. We need to get to Lerner. Like, I was like, oh. And then he's shitting on Larkin for not being able to get a hold of because he's being blown to smithereens down in the desert. And he's like, he's probably out saving the rainforest. I'm like, what the fuck? What are you talking? What have you done besides waste government gas? Oh my God, that guy really irked me. And then the one thing about the car that I'm going to say, and I hate it every time.
I think I know
That car should not have landed where it landed. There's no way. Think of the scene itself. The car takes off, it gets hooked by the plane, and the plane is out. It's like going, and you can see that it's starting to circle around, but it is like a mile, 2 miles out. And then all of a sudden it just drops and it's right back to the plane would have to fly directly over them. It doesn't work for me. It never has.
You know, I didn't even register it, but like as you pointed out, I'm like, yeah, that does not make any sense.
Mm-mm.
What's even weirder about that is the odds of that hook, like wrapping around the building, and then just like happens to hook underneath the car at the perfect point. And
right. It's
like, how batshit crazy is that?
and I'm okay with that. Honestly, I'm like, if we've got like a stray hook that hooks a douchebag's car, let it ride. But don't show me this extravagant flight plan that you're on, and then all of a sudden it just, bippity boppity boop, down goes the car right where they're standing. It's tough. It's a tough one.
I didn't catch that the first time, but I see it now.
Look for it next time.
Yeah, that's fine.
While we're talking about it, might as well bring up my title on Battle to the Boneyard.
Okay.
Plus, just when they're like infiltrating,
yeah,
government's infiltrating,
yeah, the Boneyard Trap. Let's talk about that one.
Right?
Let's talk about that one.
If someone else wants to kind of take off, I don't want to take off every scene.
I had one immediate thought.
Sure.
That is not how propane works.
Wait, what?
They have so many damn cans of propane, and they show.
I'm so glad you said that.
Crank. I'm like, okay, it's not releasing anything. Like in order for those to just release something like that, you have to break the mechanism that prevents it, or connect it to something.
Exactly.
That releases it. Like there's a pressure seal. Like, no, that's not how that works. And oh God, how do they light it? Do they have a flamethrower? What the fuck do they do that blows the thing up? It's some ridiculous.
They shoot it? I have no idea.
They're like rocket launchers.
A rocket launcher. Yes. It is the most ridiculous thing. I'm like, okay, if you have a fucking rocket launcher, do you even need to bother opening the fucking propane?
Yeah, exactly.
It's like, it's so over the top and ridiculous. I love it. Like this,
it's amazing.
Ryan, you said it. This is classic, like a 90s action movie. Like this is so insane over the top. Like like I this
Rocket launchers explode things, but let's shoot at something that also explodes.
this could literally be in a Transformers movie. Like it is insane. It's ridiculous. It's funny. It's funny. You don't actually see so many deaths. Like there's a ton of explosions, and at a certain point, you do see a bunch of cops that are just lying there. But as far as the convicts, they don't really. Not too many of them die, and they all kind of escape. Like it's crazy.
Yeah.
And oh god, how does Cameron get back onto the plane?
I'm trying to think.
Because like he's racing through all of this. He's racing through the gauntlet in that truck thing.
So he gets the syringe.
Doesn't he just get back onto the plane?
I thought he had like some big deal of like making it.
He ties the plane to the cement.
No, that's what it is. He makes it there with plenty of time, but he wraps the chain to
Yeah, he wraps the chain to the cement wall.
Yeah.
He gets the syringe. He saves the girl from being Johnny 24.
Yeah.
He gets the syringe to Baby O, who then finally gets his insulin.
Sure.
He takes all three.
Man.
Oh wait, he's already on the plane.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. I thought he was like already he just got back on.
He's on the plane because he just saved from Johnny 24 and he's got him with the insulin.
He stabbed
That's how he gets on the plane.
Yeah, but that's so anticlimactic after that scene. Anyway, no. Well, and you brought me up to like my next thought of like a big thing of like fucking this Baby O finally gets his insulin, and it's like, oh yeah, it feels so much better, so good. And then immediately gets shot. It's like, no.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, tough day for Baby O. Real tough day for Baby O.
But again, it's like you choose not to develop any of your characters, and you just like, oh yeah, we've got this guy. Let's use him real fast. Yeah, big mistake. Like, stop. Yeah. Why? Why are you doing this? You built this guy like he had all of this religious stuff. Like, I mean, like, come on.
Yeah.
Do something.
I do like Johnny 23's death.
Oh, and they carry him away, and his arm is
like a stake through the back of his heart or something. Was that him?
No, that's
that was Billy someone.
Yeah. The guy that he's wrestling down in the cargo hold.
Yeah.
Oh, he gets the
pipe. Yeah.
That was Billy. Come on, where's Billy? Billy Bedlam.
See, and now you're taking me to another thought. So like,
wait, don't go there yet.
No, that's the problem. Like you don't
because I just wanted to highlight a little bit things about the battle to the boneyard scene.
Yeah.
All right, so let's see. It's first of all, I like it. It runs a little too long, in my opinion.
Yes.
We could have been up in the air a little bit faster. But and this is where I wanted, like, take the other scene that we were talking about. I really feel like we could probably trim this down to maybe hour or like 7. No. What am I trying to think of?
It's an hour and 55 minutes. I would think you could take 10 minutes off of this movie.
Yeah. See, I was thinking around like the hour 15-minute mark.
You're thinking this movie would be.
Why can't I add right now? An hour and 45. I'm thinking like an hour and 45 would have been good.
Yeah. Hour 15.
90 minutes plus. See, because this is where you lose me.
So 105. Yeah. Anyway,
I don't math in my head.
But So what I was saying is it does run a little bit long, but there are some pretty cool highlights of it. The explosions that you get are really really good.
It's fun.
Especially when like blowing up the building. Uh, Nick Cage running after his little speech of, well, it's not blah blah blah, and yeah, he's out doing it. And then
Ranger mode.
one of my favorite moments is after the guy tries, I don't know his name, but he tries to escape with the second plane that was hidden.
Hmm.
So he's going to escape. He crashes. Vincent basically takes down the plane with the crane, which great move. Smart fucking move. Takes down that plane real quick. They then crash into the bar that Poe is at, and you're thinking big ass boom is coming, and nothing exploded, and you're like, whoa, why didn't it explode? And it pays off. It pays off amazingly because now you've got leaking fuel everywhere, and he bails out of the plane and he's like, Cyrus, help me, blah blah blah. He's like, I'm here. I was trying to get you, and I'm like, dude, no one's believing that. Like, you're talking to a group of cons here. They can't smell your shit a mile away, please. And you've got Swamp Things right next to him, and he's smoking a cigarette. And then he goes, sigh. Cut to Cyrus, Anara, and drops. I was like, damn it, that's 90s and I love it. It's so, the sayonara was, it's so money. It's so money.
Sayonara is like a very 90s term.
But to just take the cigarette and just not, there is no talking, there is no anything. It's like, I'm Cyrus the Virus. I kill things that just annoy me pretty much. And it's just like the slow motion grab and then Anara and just drops it. And I'm like, dude, bro, it couldn't have been a better scene.
It's the anti-monologuing for bad guys.
Yes.
It's like
exactly.
It's so badass. It's like, oh, this bad guy is like so cool and like really bad.
Yep.
He doesn't even care.
He's like, I'm not even gonna let you finish my fucking name.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, I do question though why the cops decided to go.
Why would they decide to bottleneck themselves into a clear?
Thank you. Trap? You're in a wide open desert.
Maybe they thought it was cover, like they could cover, but
no way.
Again,
it's sitting duck.
It's enforcement making bad decisions.
So bad. It's so bad.
It's like, how do you not see that coming, guys?
Yeah, so bad.
Although Cyrus's breakdown of the plan, not too shabby at all.
What's that?
That's a rock.
Damn it! That's what.
Just say it, man.
I was being patient.
Why are you mad?
That was like one of my favorite lines.
It's a rock.
What is that? It's a rock. Kicks it away.
I feel like that was an improv thing in the sense of like somebody came up with this joke. Probably I'm gonna just attribute it to John Malkovich. So
yeah.
Because one, I'm trying to appease him and see if he'll let me see 100 years before its actual release date. But that, and he's a brilliant genius actor and incredible person. So yes, I think he came up with this joke like day of, since obviously the writing has been very quick. I think that's what it was like. Okay, so we're gonna write the scene, and Cyrus is gonna break down the plan, and it's like, I've got this hilarious idea. Go with me here.
Yeah,
you got it, John. We're doing it. Love it, John. And it's hilarious. It's such a great moment right before fucking boom boom explosions. Here we go.
Yeah.
Shoot 'em up. like that's such a great way to send us off into this crazy ass battle.
Yep.
It's a rock.
I have like maybe not a theory, but just like an idea that like, do you guys think that this movie is a cult movie like in itself, or does it just have like culty moments in it?
Mm,
I don't. I don't.
no, I don't think it's culty.
No.
I don't know if I know exactly what you mean.
I think he's asking if there's only like a select few people that like this, that really like this movie.
Well, no, not necessarily that.
Because that's what a cult is, though.
I'm thinking on the terms like the production of the movie. It's like the writers were just like trying to be edgy, have fun, and like really throw some like humor and darkness, and like they've been really trying to like kind of mix it up and not make it like so like polished, you know, like it's kind of
You mean
edgy,
campy?
campy. Yeah, campy is kind of what I mean. Yeah.
Um,
No, this is summer blockbuster. This is what we did in the 90s.
yeah, I think that it does have a certain camp to it. Like with
Like maybe a Nick Cage camp.
well, I mean, like, okay, so Dave Chappelle's clear dummy that's being thrown from this airplane and crashing down, like, yeah, there's a bit of camp to that. But
Mhm.
I don't know, like to answer the cult question though, like I do think that this movie does have a cult following. Like I say that because
I don't know,
this is
man.
not a, well, this is not a movie that I think should get a sequel. I think if they did it right, like it could be a lot of fun. I don't think it should get a sequel. And the reason being is like the reason they write everything so they wrote everything so quickly, right? So we get all of these great things about these characters really fast, but no actual development. So it's left to us. Like we watch this, rewatch it, we rewatch it, we rewatch it. We start talking and thinking about and plotting all these things. It's like now we have all of these theories, like we've already talked about tonight.
Mm-hmm.
So it's that's where it gets is like, okay, there's this fan theory, and like it becomes like, well, so Cyrus was doing this, and like the big plan, the reason like they were going to Kansas City, like the reason they had to go to Kansas City is because they needed to get this. So while he was there, you have Pinball is actually getting this, and that girl that he's talking to, like, you know what I mean? Like these conspiracy theories that web out of what we do get and build this world of fan theories and fan fiction. Like, I think I think that's something that's good about this movie is that it has that ability. It leaves so much for interpretation and imagination while being fun and ridiculous.
That's true. On the flip side of the coin, you could also argue that this movie is an action-filled movie full of explosions with a major star-studded cast, and we're just looking for 2 hours of pure entertainment on a summer release. And that also could be what this is too. Like it, I think it's just the way of how people look at it.
Well, that's why I say it has a cult following.
Yeah.
Like
I don't know if it's culty. I don't think I can call it culty. I think it's too good to be culty.
Okay. Well, the reason why I asked the question is because like we've all acknowledged like how ridiculous some of the scenes are.
Mm-hmm.
This movie, like the don't open the box explosion, like that's ridiculous. The body falling on the car, that's like ridiculous. Like that's why I do think it's like campy and like humorous. You know, it's got that edge to it. Like it's not like a polished, you know, like realistic scene that like to where all the scenes make sense realistically. Yeah.
I mean, my other argument is we're talking about a movie that is categorized as a holy trinity of action films for a certain actor.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that right there, I just don't think it qualifies for the cult, the traditional cult definition. That's just my 2 cents.
Hmm.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Let's see what kind of notes I've got that we haven't talked about yet.
Yeah, I've got a couple head scratchers and 2 scenes left, it looks like, for me. Oh, and of course quotes, because damn, what if you're not writing quotes in a 90s movie or 90s action movie, you're not watching it right.
Yeah, well, hit us with the head scratcher.
The head scratcher. Let's see. Yeah, I've got 2 left. How does Cyrus know Casey's name?
The note.
Yeah, did he read the note?
He's reading her note.
Casey never had her name on that note.
Like she never signed it?
Mm-mm. It's my daddy is coming home on the 14th. My birthday is the 14th or February 14th. I'm going to see my daddy for the first time on February 14th.
It was July.
Or July 14th? Was it?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought it was February.
No, that's just because Valentine's Day is coming up and you're thinking about it.
No, I really thought it was February, honestly.
Just saying, you better get your girl something good.
Yeah, maybe.
July 14th comes around. Hey, babe, I got you some Valentine candies. And she's like sweltering hot in the summer. Like,
Sorry if they melted.
Anyway, but no, there was no name. And I'm like, so Cyrus, how did you find out about Casey's name? Because he already, he threatens her, or he threatens Poe with Casey. And that's when it became personal, which is why he went after him at the very end. I've just always wondered how he got her name.
if it's not from the note, then I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah.
Do we see the note?
Yeah, we see it. It's in crayon.
It's like blue crayon, I think.
It doesn't say her name anywhere on it.
Not that I recall. No.
Okay. I mean,
Because if it did, going back a few scenes, that note is brought up on Con Air saying we have a traitor on board. And that's when Baby O says it was me. If Casey's name was on there.
he knows he's lying, though. That's why he shoots him.
Oh, shit. Wait, maybe Casey's name is on there then. Oof, this is tough now.
Like that's the reason he shoots Baby O is
because he knows, yeah.
He knows he's lying, and he's like, he's just pissed off, and he's like, don't do this.
Yeah, see, I was pretty convinced that it wasn't, but now I'm starting to think maybe it was. I don't know.
Or was there a note that Cameron Poe wrote where he mentions Casey that he read?
Like it might have been in his box or something.
He has photos. It's possible. I would say that it's probable.
Yeah.
Like on the back it says Casey 3 years old, Casey 5 years old,
All right. Well, the 2 scenes that I have left kind of are tied in hand. We've kind of talked about one of them already, and it was what happens in Vegas destroys Vegas.
I have a nitpick within this.
But my other scene, and like I said, we can just blend them all together. This is probably one of my favorite titles that I've ever come up with. I titled this Code 3 to RIP.
What's Code 3?
Yeah, you're the only one who knows what Code 3 is.
I know, it's so sad. Well, when you know, it's really funny. Code 3 is when you're going lights and sirens.
Okay.
And so what I'm talking about is when they're basically they stole a fire truck. They've got the lights and sirens are blaring, and it is the ultimate death to the virus. And I was like, Code 3 to RIP is I'm loving that title. So
no, I like the rating. Just don't know what a Code 3 is.
Yeah, so if you guys just kind of want to we'll start at Vegas and then kind of go into it.
I had like one little nitpick but I mean, we can talk more about it.
No, let's hear it.
As the plane is landing and going down the strip and everything, and it's crashing into stuff, it literally is hitting trees, and the trees are exploding.
What?
Yes, they're not hitting cars. They're like the wings and stuff, like as and there's
I know.
it's trees. Trees are exploding.
That's like video game logic.
Yes. I think it's absolutely hilarious. But it is, it's there, it's trees. It's trees.
Yeah. Again, I've said that there are some things that don't make sense, and I love every one of them, and that's definitely one of them.
It's so ridiculous. It's hilarious.
I mean, yeah, like I said, the Vegas is it's cool. You know, they're like, hey, we're gonna land at the airport. Actually, we're not. Our engine shot to shit. We have no gas. We're going too fast, and we're falling pretty much. I'm like, cool. It's like, so I'm going for the strip. I'm like, oh sweet Jesus. I'm like going in my head. I'm like, the amount of injuries and casualties that are about to happen in 3, 2. I love how it's like, I don't know. Have you guys noticed how many movies decide that we're gonna take out the Hard Rock Cafe guitar? Dude, that thing gets worked.
Oh man.
Did they build a replica of that just to get destroyed?
Probably.
That was, I forgot what that was. It obviously wasn't the real one.
That was probably
So
part of the.
I think it was a replica.
It's insane. That looked really good.
Yeah.
You're right though. Like I had that exact thought when they crashed through the thing. I was like, the poor Hard Rock,
Dude, it just gets owned every time.
instantly gets messed with.
Freaking even a baby pulls it off the roof and plays with it. So
I knew you couldn't. I knew you couldn't resist bringing it up.
I can't. Are you kidding? And I don't know. Old Vegas is always so weird to me. Like just looking, you know, like 90s Vegas compared to Vegas nowadays just does not look anything like it did back then. So it's always like oh wow, little trip down memory lane there.
I feel because it's like a bunch of skyscrapers and shit now, isn't it? Like a bunch of
yeah, and just different, you know, neon lights go. I mean, more neon lights than before.
Like big screens, you know.
Yeah, exactly. Huge screens, just everything, just broadcasting, like all these things, like just constant lights in your face. It just looks different.
Tell me about Vegas, Papa.
Yeah.
I've never been.
Vegas is cool. I don't mind it. It's not like a, you know, go all the time type thing, but it is a fun place to hang out sometimes. Especially like just the entertainment in general, whether it's A, on the streets, or B, actual like show performance that you can go to. They're really cool, and they've got like great architecture around it too, like different style buildings like the Venetian or
the Luxor.
What?
The Luxor, that pyramid.
Yeah, exactly. Where Chris Angel freaking floated over that damn thing. Anyway, but yeah, so going back to that, you know, just again landing in Vegas, I thought it was a really fun move to make for the movie. And then just going into the whole, like the way that they crash into the building, I question, and again, we've already unpacked how stupid the police and DEA and all the basically good guys are, but why are we bringing Trisha and Casey to this scene? The worst of the worst are on this plane. Let's bring them here. We couldn't just leave them somewhere, keep them updated via phone. Hey, we got Cameron. We're coming back. We'll be there in maybe 40 minutes.
That's not climactic.
What?
That's not climactic.
No, we don't. We're not going to get the "How Do I Live" coming back part 2. You know, running up and then of course I got you a beautiful looking bunny. It really, you're gonna love this.
Hello, girls' reactions too.
Yeah, go ahead, Nick.
I hated the scene so much. I hate it. I really hate it. They should have not have brought Trisha and Casey there in the most like dangerous
just
plane
stupid.
crash of all time.
So stupid.
And like what and just like the first time that Cameron sees like Casey, like sees Trisha, it's just so awkward. Like they're just kind of standing there and like not really a whole lot is happening. And I just, it was really cringe to me. And I really wish that they had just kept him out and let the whole Vegas scene play out and then do like a cut to the future, like the next day or next morning or something where, I mean, I don't know where Cameron would go, like maybe to the local police station or the hospital, like a hospital. That'd be great. And then like Trisha and Casey are informed that Cameron is at the hospital. And then I don't know, just something that didn't involve like being at the scene.
Or like do the Top Gun. Just play it back. It's fine. Where you did the Vegas thing.
Mm-hmm.
You let him get cleaned up a little bit. Dude got shot in the arm, in case you forgot about that. Yeah. He's got blood on his arm. He's got all this, grease and everything from the plane and the fire truck and just all that going on, right? Let him clean up a little bit, fly him back, and just do the Top Gun where he's coming out of the chopper or out of the plane or out of whatever he flew in. And there's the girls just waiting for him at the tarmac and just let him have it.
Like run and like hug.
Slow motion. Like, how do I live without you? The whole I mean, you're already giving me the explosions. You might as well just give me the 90s vibe. I think it would have been a much better ending than whatever was going on in front of the Sands Hotel that just got actually real life plane into it. It's
like, so give me some tears, like, on the tarmac, give me some tears and some like happy music. Like,
yep. Yeah. Exactly. Get him like running up to her or he's running to them. Like, come on. Like I said, give me Top Gun. Just play it back. It works.
Yeah. 100% agree.
Go ahead, Matt.
This is such a weird moment too, where I don't understand the intent. Like, as he's giving Casey the doll and everything, like that little girl's reactions are 100% spot on, exactly how a little girl should respond to a man in a wife beater covered. Like, look in the way that man does. Like, 100%. That is it. Like she is like, the fuck is this? Like, thank you, I guess. Yeah. Like absolutely correct. But that's a director's telling this little girl, like, okay, this is how I need you to respond. Okay. Like,
right.
Yeah.
And like, even when she's hugging him, like, it's the same thing of like, this feels weird. This feels wrong. Like, why that choice? It's odd. It's uncomfortable. And I think what's so funny about that scene is if you take like a screenshot of that scene, like out of context, say you have no idea what's going on. This is the first time you've seen this scene. This is a dirty ass hobo looking man talking to this very nice, well-dressed blonde woman and her daughter, who is now holding a dirty ass stuffed bunny rabbit.
Oh my god.
Sparks and shit and stuff is falling apart all around them, and firework, like fire hoses are going off. Like, this is a gnarly ass scene.
Yeah.
And it's so weird. It's so, you know what, 90s yep. Action flick. King nuts. Go ahead, Nick.
Oh, sorry, you were cutting out at the end there. And the thing that really negates this whole scene for me too is in the beginning, Cameron was like, "Oh, I didn't want to do any of the jail visits because I didn't want her to see me in this state."
Yeah.
Now you look even more shit. Like what? With all of these convicts like all around you and like this plane crash, like, and this is like your daughter's first impression of you. Like you just fucking crashed a plane. Like like you really didn't set like the good image here that you wanted.
Yeah.
You know what the worst part is? Everything that he did was so he could walk away saying that that woman was not raped and his best buddy survived by getting his insulin shot. And then, of course, surviving the actual gunshot.
Mm-hmm.
That's the real like motivation there. He wasn't really trying to save lives. I mean, he was trying to stop death. Does that count? Is it the same? Is trying to stop death the same as trying to save life? Oh,
I mean, every action has a reaction.
so, but yeah, like I don't know.
Yeah.
So the only other thing just to mention is, man, once we get past that BS that we just discussed for a little bit, we get there's Cyrus the Virus chilling on top of the truck, just hanging on the ladder, and Poe sees it, Vincent sees it, and here we go. They just take. I love how they take the cop motorcycles and they start to peel out, and then everyone else is like, "Oh shit, things are happening," and they all just like peel out after them. Always cracks me up. But man, this was just one last way to entertain us right before the end of the movie, and you get the explosion that we talked about, where the motorcycle flies to the back and just blows up. Freaking Cyrus gets that nasty stab to the ankle. That looked like it was super painful. Yeah. And then he gets hooked to the ladder, raises, he gets thrown through the glass over walkway overpass or whatever you want to call that thing, goes through high voltage wiring, still somehow hasn't quite died yet, and then where the fuck is that construction thing in Vegas is my question. Like, how far did he fly? Couple things there, and then just to be like dropped off the what do you call that thing? The conveyor belt? Sure, I'm gonna go with that. He gets like on the conveyor belt and then just dropped down and then
yeah.
And then just crushed like
Thought about that.
Yeah, the cement thing just comes down right on his head. I'm like, well, Cyrus the Virus is dead now. But such a, once again, creative ass way to entertain us to the very end.
The virus has been eradicated.
I'm curious. Did they mention how many life sentences he was serving?
Oh, 8? I think it was 8.
I don't know. I can't, off the top of my head, I do not know.
I'm just curious if they killed him 8 ways.
No, that would have been so good.
Like if that's what, because like you're right. Like he went through so much, but it really wasn't until like his head was crushed that it's like he's dead.
Yeah. I still question where that site was.
Oh god, it's fucking insane. Like
I'm like, what the fuck is this doing on the Vegas Strip?
Yeah, the Acme Construction Company over there. Like, my God.
Wile E. Coyote just hanging back. So that's how you do it.
Yeah.
Got to get Roadrunner in there.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm gonna tie Roadrunner to a truck.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Although I will say that the lead up when he's on that conveyor belt, he really doesn't do anything. He just kind of like,
let's just been thrown through a bridge and electrocuted. He's been,
but he saw that thing. Like
he can't move,
dude. He's paralyzed.
Oh, you're right.
I mean, he's electrocuted, and the height, the mechanism of the height. I mean, he's stunned. I'm surprised he even lived the fall, to be honest.
That's the point. Like they just kept him alive long enough so that he could see his head get crushed.
Yeah.
Justice.
he stands back up like headless, like rah.
Yeah.
What are we like, Mike Myers now?
Chicken with its head cut off.
Do you guys think Garland turns a new leaf?
No.
Turns
No.
a leaf? Is that what you
Mhm.
said? Is that a term? I don't know what that means.
Meaning,
He no longer kills and uses.
yeah, he goes good.
Oh
No.
So he's just in casino and he's doing his thing until his next move.
I think he's doing the smartest thing possible, which is while all of the chaos is happening outside of people trying to find these convicts, he is doing what everybody else is doing and gambling.
Yeah.
So he's gonna just write it out. They're gonna chalk it up to he's missing, and then he's gonna come up with some brilliant plan because he can do it.
Yep.
And he's in the greatest place to murder a bunch of people.
He's in Sin City. Like,
You know?
Yeah. What is it? The quote of casino? The desert solves a lot of problems. The only thing you have to do is dig the fucking hole or something.
Find the hole.
Or no, a lot of problems are buried in the desert. Damn it! I
know
forgot.
what quote you're talking about.
I know. Yeah, it was a good quote. I just don't remember it. It's Pesci. Yeah, I was with you. I didn't think he turned a new leaf either. Actually, that could be your sequel.
That's how I think it would be. It's
I found it. It says, at night you couldn't see the desert that surrounds Las Vegas, but it's in the desert where lots of the oh no, that's not it.
You dumbass.
Oh. Oh wait, this is it.
Are you sure? Read the full
Wow,
thing
just
first.
build up our hopes and then just crush us.
Yeah. I will say though, by the way, I'm pretty much done on notes and things.
I'm just down to quotes.
Yeah. I have
So
a
while
couple
Nick,
quotes, but I don't even remember the scenes.
I can help you out with scenes, but do you want to go first?
Oh, I found it. It says, he says, I mean, you got to have the hole already dug before you show up with a package in the trunk. The Joe Pesci.
I don't think that was it either.
Mm.
Why does that sound like that's from Goodfellas, not from Casino?
A lot of holes in the desert and a lot of problems are buried in those holes, but you got to do it right. I mean, you got to have the hole already dug before you show up with the package in the trunk.
That's the full. Yes, that was it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good one. All right, quotes.
Ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da.
There was a quote from the female like guard on the plane that I thought was really funny. She was like being snarky. What did she say? Was it something about gum? No. Oh, somebody was calling her like a stewardess or something, and then she had like a really good
No, someone said lady.
lady. Yeah.
And she said, lady is a dog on a Disney movie.
Yes.
Oh, I do remember that now.
Yeah.
That was funny.
I think this is right after Cameron kills was it Billy
Bellum?
Bellum? That's what it is. Yeah, I think it's right after he goes and was like, why could you put the bunny back in the box?
Yep.
I'm sorry, why couldn't you put the bunny in the box? Like, it's like he has so little enthusiasm after killing this guy. And I realize like he's not enjoying killing people, but it's just like it's like it is like if Forrest Gump was just like a murderous himself.
Yeah. This line kills me every time. It's one of Dave Chappelle's or Pinball's. And I swear you knew, like, I know that it was improv. But he says, the last Mohican is burning, man.
Oh God. God, you fucking would.
Holy shit. And I feel like The Last of the Mohicans probably was a fairly recent movie at that time.
Probably.
I want to say 90, oh my God, 94, 95. But just a perfect line.
Hold on a second. Last of the Mo 92.
92. Okay, yeah. So 5 years later.
Long enough for you know,
Irrelevant.
being in prison.
Yeah.
That's a good
No, that line's hilarious.
I think this is actually Cameron slapping. Is it Johnny 23? He's beating the crap out of him. He just says, "Don't treat women like that."
Yes. Yep. It's when he was going for Johnny 24.
And then he beats the shit out of him. Yes.
Yeah. Yep.
Well, his name was Johnny 23, but he was wanting to become Johnny 24.
Correct.
He didn't actually become Johnny 24 yet.
Correct.
Get a much bigger number if you know, he said if they knew the truth. So
yeah,
doesn't make you feel any better.
Gag and bag this Nazi muffin.
This Nazi muffin.
Is that
God, I love 90s quotes.
I don't remember the word muffin.
Yeah.
I remember bag this Nazi, but I never heard, well, muffin.
that feels like it was a censoring thing where like they had him go back in ADR. Like the original line was like bag and tag this Nazi motherfucker.
Yeah.
But they're like, oh, we can't say that. I mean, it's rated R, so why not? But like maybe to keep it from being too high of a R.
I don't know.
Muffin.
But Nazi muffin, just that's amazing. Huh?
Who says it?
It's the prison guard that was running his mouth the whole time. It's when he one of the inmates spits, and that's when he says gag and bag this Nazi muffin, and then it's the same one that's shot in the head.
Oh yeah.
From blind bullets.
Yeah. Is that your name for the scene?
No.
Blind bullets.
No, I didn't write that scene down.
I feel like the Nazi muffin quote, the censoring, it's got the same energy as all these monkey fighting snakes on this Monday to Friday plane. Like the TV version. It's like it's got the same kind of feel to it.
Any more, Matt? I still have a few.
I've got, I don't know who says it, but it's make a move and the bunny gets it. Sounds like
that's Cyrus.
Is that when he's got it, like he's on the fire truck?
No, that's when he's on Con Air. And
the landing.
And he's basically standing right outside of the area, and then the choppers come and start shooting at him. It's right before Vegas.
I don't recall.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's all right.
Yeah. Well, it's just sad. I wrote the quote down. Remember it.
Sandy beaches, umbrella drinks, and dirty naked freaks.
Love it.
That's good stuff right there. Any more for you or
no? No, that was it.
Okay, I've got a couple more then. This is your barbecue, Cyrus, and it tastes good. that was good. And then there's only two men I trust. One of them is me. The other's not you.
Yeah, that's a good one.
That was a good one.
That was a great line right there.
Now trust 3, man.
Yeah. I know. I love how they circle back to it.
Yeah.
And this one is probably something I'll use in real life. This is a situation that needs to get unfucked right now.
Oh yeah. Man, this needs to get unfucked. I love that.
It's a that line is so good.
You can say that for anything. Like, oh shit, my car broke down. This needs to get unfucked right now. Oh man.
That's the one line that Malloy said that didn't actually annoy me to pieces.
It's so funny.
And that's it. I already said the rest.
All right.
Cool.
I think we are at final thoughts on who won the movie.
And I'm at 6%
We are.
battery on my laptop. We're doing a good time.
I'll go ahead. This was fun. I'm glad you picked it because this was a good rewatch.
Yeah.
Haven't seen it in a while. It's not one that I've like had huge opinions of. And honestly, I'm gonna have to check to see if I have this or not. I think I do, but if not, it definitely needs to be in the library because this is a fun one. It's a fun action movie. It's nice and easy. You can keep it on in the background if you really want, but it's also just it's enjoyable. You get a good laugh. You get see tons of explosions, and it's a good time. So classic 90s action. For who wins it? Ooh. I want to give it to Cyrus, so I'm gonna give shout out to Cyrus. So like runner up to Cyrus because to me he kind of does make this movie. Cameron doesn't have much personality. He just kind of is a very stoic, one-dimensional person. But Cyrus has a lot of charisma, and he makes it a lot of fun. He makes the villain interesting. He makes the whole thing good time. But for what wins it for me, I'm gonna go for the explosions. Like honestly, these things. Sorry, Nick. I that reaction is so sad to see, but like honestly, it's the best part for me. Like this is classic action movie, and there are so many explosions. Like if this movie was a poster, it would be Nick Cage, a plane, and explosions, 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 explosions. Like love it.
I mean, there's a scene when they're all walking away from the explosion in
Yeah.
slow motion.
Nobody's looking back because they're too cool.
Yeah.
That scene's awesome.
Like that could have been the cover. Yeah. I'll go next. Yeah, this I really enjoy this movie. It's fun. It's kind of campy. It's a lot of good action. It's got some good comedy, and it's a fun idea. Like it's just a fun idea, and I think that it was executed pretty well for the most part. Oh, is that your Insta post?
Well, this was what Matt just said, but that's the actual title on air.
Although I think Hulu used a different one.
It's pretty close. Explosions.
And like it's a fun movie that like doesn't take itself too seriously. And so it's a fun watch. And yeah, they really could have expanded the characters a little bit more. Just kind of given them a little bit more like two-dimensional kind of characteristics. But what wins it for me is the action, and I was going to say like specifically the explosions, but I'm just going to give the action. I think the action is just really well done. It's a lot of fun. It's like Brian, like you mentioned it. It's really entertaining. It's really entertaining action. So yeah, that's what wins it, is the action.
All right. Let's see. The cops and the DEA agents and all them, they did a horrible job. Bad decisions. what else? The cons, the good performances there. And yeah, I mean, it's an action-packed movie that is super entertaining. A lot of it doesn't make sense, but it doesn't bother me one bit. It is what it is. And that's just a lot of how 90s action movies were. And we accept them. So who wins? This one was kind of tough for me. I think I'm going to do honorable mention to Nick Cage. Just beefed up for it, came to play. He went from I'm this nerdy science guy on The Rock to I'm going to be an action hero in this one. And he's going against people like Sylvester Stallone, Arnold Schwarzenegger, even Bruce Willis. I mean, some big shoes to fill here if you're going to try to do it. And great job. Just really, really good job on it. Not to mention, he's kind of playing two characters. He's a good guy, yet is trying to blend in with the cons and not overstep boundaries on either side. So I think Nick Cage just played it perfectly. But this movie would not be this movie if it was not for Cyrus the Virus. And Cyrus the Virus would not be Cyrus the Virus if it wasn't for John Malkovich. So I have to give it to him. It's a villain and a half. And I just, man, what a performance, what a character. And to be thrown in a loop where you don't even know what the script is going to be the next day and still like literally land the plane. Great work from him. So that's who I'm giving it to.
Yeah. All right. Well, that wraps it up for Con Air. We finally did it. Thank you for everybody who stuck through it with all of our fun random tangents, and just we were having a good time. You know what? And I think after the new year, that's a good sign. We're getting our energy back. We're getting ready for it. We got the good chats flowing. So yeah, hopefully that means we'll be in fantastic spirits for next week's pick, which we will be talking about on Tuesday. Remember that, Matt? Tuesday. It's Tuesday that we will be talking about Blues Brothers streaming on Netflix. So that should be a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to seeing this one. Is it first time for probably Nick?
It's been a while though, so I'm kind of blanking on a lot of things.
First time seeing Blues Brothers, Nick?
I mean, I don't know what it's about. Like, I haven't heard.
I'm going to guess it's your first time seeing it.
Yeah.
Because there's not many movies that are like the Blues Brothers. But I hope I hope everybody enjoys it. This will be an interesting one, and I'm sure there'll be lots of fun facts to talk about. Yeah, random fun stuff. So yeah, tune in next week here on Twitch. Check us out at GoodFlickas. We are going to be talking about Blues Brothers. You can also check us out on Instagram at good.flickas. And you can follow us on YouTube. Check out our old videos. We'll have some new ones posted up as soon as possible. We appreciate you guys and your patience, and we'll have stuff out as quickly as we can. But yeah, you can check us out on YouTube. Give us a like, give us a follow, share at GoodFlickas, and give us, some comments and some likes, and reach out to us if you'd like at our email at goodflickas2020@gmail.com. Other than that, like I said, give us a follow, check us out on Instagram, share us with your friends. But yeah, I think that wraps it up. Brian, you want to close us out?
Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, this is your GoodFlickas captain speaking. We promise to never have a situation that needs to be unfucked. We'll see you next week.